Hello! Oh my goodness, that fan. I totally forgot. 1 minute. Whew. Oh. That's a rainbow flag. Yeah, it's part of it's our new branding. Didn't you hear? It's the month of being late and prideful. That's the time it is. All right, so today we are looking at Fun Time Friday. Gonna be having some fun today. Let me just double check that we're on the right everything here. Behind closed doors with a fan. Suspicious. What are you? A Disney employee? All right, we are, boom, everything is good to go there. All right, before we get too deep into the fun time of the Fun Time Friday, let us crack open, we will do our Hakushka, fresh and light. Get this in our glass, get some quick anime reviews out of the way for stuff that I've been seeing. Then we will start sending links and having some fun. So, big ol' kampai to everyone today. Good to see you. We made it through another week. Alrighty. Welcome to the Escape Corner. Let us talk. First on the menu for today, we have Love After World Domination. Continue to be great. This is the first sort of dual or like two part or 2 episode arc that we've had, and like we knew it would, it ends up being hilarious. I have to laugh at the little sister interaction. Really fun. Quite enjoy that. Look on Bosslar and Culverin's faces when Decimi called their base musty. Yup. It was great. It was fantastic. We learned that the dormitory is not at the base, that they actually have to take a bus and go hiking to get there. So the world is fleshing out, as it were. And they went to Harajuku. Actually, they went to Takeshita-dori, not Takaisi. Like I forget what they fake named it, but they named that street something kind of funny. But it was good. It was par for the course. I much preferred the first half with Mudo meeting her dad. I thought that was a much better part of the episode compared to her sister. I think we could have gotten the lesson of I'm stronger because of love a little quicker than we did. Yes, needs more Fudo. Every episode needs more Fudo. That is true. Ya boy, Kong Ming, moving right along. It is a fun show. It's a blast. Continues to be just banger after banger. I love that we have a Steve Aoki knockoff in the show because maybe not everybody knows Steve Aoki. His niece was on the Sports Illustrated. Everybody was like, "You're not a sports person." And it's like, no, she's not a sports person. She's a music person. Why is she on Sports Illustrated? It was kind of confusing, but interesting enough, the Aoki family is kind of fascinating. So she does music. Her uncle, Steve Aoki, of course, does music. Throws cakes at people while his music plays. It's awesome. His dad, so her grandfather, was a wrestler. Was like a pro freaking wrestler way back in the day, back when nobody really paid attention to anything outside of like very niche groups for wrestling. So really a funny family tree there that led to her being on the Sports Illustrated. But the rest of Ya Boy is great. We knew it would be. We knew it would keep being fantastic. And I think that's... Hold on, let me get this out of the way. Get out of here. I think that's it. All right. Alrighty. Bring on the fun time. All right, we're going to do this with just DMs. I've got my invite guest button here. The only request I am going to make is that you don't get me kicked off of YouTube. I don't I don't really care what anybody says as long as it doesn't affect this channel being able to be online. So let's throw some links around. And let's see what we want to talk about, because I've been very busy. Don't go full Alex Jones. Well, you can go half Alex Jones. AJ was on he was on Friday Night Tights, and yeah, I call him AJ. We're pretty cool like that. Just a fun time stream today. Send the link to all. Boom, boom. Don't go. What really has Alex Jones ever said they got him in like a serious amount of trouble? Like, let's be fair. He was saying some things about some kids and their parents, and it wasn't great, you know. And he takes it back and then ends up getting sued over it. Like, is that really what got him pulled? I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out. Let me just send a couple more of these. Okay, I'll follow the chats. DM me. You can either DM me on Twitter or Discord, or wherever you find me. If you want the link. I'm hesitant to just post it outright, even though I'm sure I could. But it you're just like, I don't know. I don't know if I want that available for everybody. Boo doo 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 doo. 1, 2, 3, boop boop. He's not gonna need one. You just got one. Now, where's the actual? Nope. How do I view? Oh well, I'll go in through YouTube. I'll go this way. I'll go this way. You go that way. Your favorite escapism. EM4. Invite to chat. Boom. All right. And now we got the live now. Awesome. Alrighty. Boom, boom, boom. We're good there. This is the most riveting content I think I may have ever put out on the internet. Me sending DMs on a screen you can't see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, while I wait, let's whoa. Never thought you'd see the day where a streamer sent DMs on while the screen was on the other side. All right, for our first guest for today, you've seen his words. Now let's hear a voice. We have Michael DeLucia III. Hello.
What is up?
Oh, it is a classic Friday. I didn't want to do anything. So I decided, instead of not doing anything, I'll just talk with people about what they have been enjoying this past week, this past month, year, whatever.
Well,
so with that,
I mean, if you let me take it away, something that I did not think I'd be enjoying as much as I have been is that Shikamori opening theme.
The opening theme, specifically that.
Yeah, no, honestly, highlight of the episode for me whenever I see that.
The music, the visuals, everything, or is there something
Honestly, it's
that
just
gets
a
you every
song,
time?
like, it's just a song, like, I have this thing where, like so he hear me out for a minute.
Yeah, I'm listening.
What if you had a playlist of every song you liked?
Okay.
Okay, like, easy to imagine. How would you rate the songs how would you rate the songs that you like to listen to? And I would rate them by how often I would want them to show up in that playlist. Like, if I shuffled it once, do I want to show up every
Mm,
time I shuffle it or, like, every other time I shuffle it?
I
And
remember
I think
those
the fact that
days.
it's added to, like, that universal playlist by
Mhm.
itself means it's a good song for me, but, like, probably every 5th time I'd add it. It's pretty good.
Really? That's that's quite a bit actually. Trying to think of any song that I would want to hear once every 5 times. Nope. Nope, can't think of one. But so
Well, I'm
just
sure,
a
like,
song. And
that Gundam
of
song.
course I can't play the song because YouTube's a big weirdo with that, but hmm, not something I expected to hear today. I will say that. Not something I expected to hear today.
We gotta bring something new to the table.
That is true. Well, I will tell you of this season at least, Chica Chica Bone Bone gets me every time, every single time.
I've been
I
avoiding that one, haven't heard it yet.
It is so good. it's it's so good, but it also is just kind of weird. Like the dance when you're watching it as they're like performing throughout the opening, you're like, I don't get it. I don't really like. This is kind of fun. They're doing like this thing here, but why? I don't. And that so as long as I hear the song and I don't see the dance, I'm okay. But if I see that dance, I start trying to do it, and then I can't figure out what I'm doing because they're animated and I'm not. I'm also not a very
Yeah,
good
sometimes
dancer.
they just don't have any, like, structure to them, like, no bones.
No, exactly, exactly. Gotta think like what other. Let's see what the
Like, there
internet
was that,
says.
the
Best
Gundam
anime OP.
you were talking about that Gundam end theme a lot, I think it was,
Oh my god,
Orphans?
Orphans is so good. It's called what is because the series is Iron Blooded Orphans, but then the ending theme is called like Orphans Life, something like that. That song is that song gets me every time. But that's it's called Tears of Orphans. Tears of Orphans. But
Tears
that
of
song like
Orphans, alright.
is so powerful with the piano driving that it just takes over. And with the way so many of the episodes in that series end, you get the buildup of the piano like coming in, and then boom, it's hitting hard like right when you hit the sort of final emotional beat of the climax. Because it's one of those shows where the climax is at the end of the episode and there's no falling action until you get to the next episode, so they can really hammer on some really big emotional pivots. And it just pairs so well.
Okay, so you're feeling it right up until the end of it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's great. I'm a big fan of when the media and the music incorporates into the show and isn't just something that happens when we're done with the show. Having it actually be the powerful like push stuff forward. I freaking love that. I really love that. Ayo, Pixelation, how are you doing, friend?
Oh, is this what, those the chat looks like in here?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
you
I've
can
never been on this end of the studio, so it's weird.
and I can click this and then new comments from chat will like pop up next to us. Very funny, very strange. Pixel, if you want to jump on, talk about what kind of escape you are enjoying and what's got your goat right now, you can hit me up on Twitter. You're good, just chilling. I don't think there's any song from the season you really care about. What about previous seasons? Do you remember what the heck was that show? Domestic Girlfriend, Dome Kanajo. The
That's
Utsushi.
one of those shows I just
Burudo.
didn't feel like watching. I don't know.
Okay, the show is kind of garbage, honestly. Like the I've heard that the manga is decent and has like a fun fleshed out story. The show is a very weird, like, we're just gonna throw people into situations where I don't think you'd ever see them before. Like, oh, you bang this chick, and then her sister is your teacher, but then your parents get married, and now it's so crazy. But the OP is freaking good, so freaking
That sounds
good.
like some cuckoos level nonsense.
It's ridiculous. It is a ridiculous show that like doesn't I wouldn't say there's any like redeeming quality about it. But that intro song, and then the artist who does the song did an acoustic version on their Twitter, and it is so good because she has a very breathy voice, but it also has that little bit of a growl. And anytime you get a female voice that when they start to like scream, they get and you can like hear it sort of like bounce off the roof of their mouth. It's so I love that sound. It's tasty trash. Yes, that is exactly what that show is. It also has the bartender cafe owner, who's one of those like classically gay, not gay characters in Japanese, where you never can really tell if he's supposed to be like thinking he's a full trans woman, or if he's just a gay guy, or if he's actually
I know
gay.
the
Like
trope.
I love the trope where you can never really tell. Like, keep me guessing. Keep me guessing. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, wasn't there someone like that, a character like that in Akame Got Kill?
Kame got kill off the top of my head. I don't remember. I always go to Gurren Lagann, because in Gurren Lagann, however the hell you pronounce that stupid show, the questionably gay character has Steve Bloom's voice in the dub. So hearing the guy who does the
Okay,
deep voice of
that's
Spike
actually
Spiegel
amazing.
talking with a little bit of a lisp in a higher register, it's so great to hear that dub.
Okay, so it's like Spike, but he's acting like the new Vicious.
Yeah, exactly. Back. Bottle one. We've cleaned it out. We're cleaning out my cabinets here, so that's great.
As you should be, as you should be.
All right, Pixel, you've got the link in your Twitter, so you can follow that whenever you wanna say hi.
What's been your favorite one of the season show so far?
Of this season?
Yeah, this season. It's a tough one. I don't know if there's any standouts.
Let me pull up my Annie list. That'll help. I live by the list. Obviously, best romance for me is Love After World Domination.
Definitely.
You know, I think biggest surprise hit is Healer Girl. Especially,
you're still watching that.
I am still watching Healer Girl. And we will say hi to Pixel Asian, spelled weirdly. There we go. Hold on, I don't need to be big. We can do this.
What's up, y'all?
Pixel with a C. How are you doing?
I am tired.
You are tired.
But
good.
You know, that makes
Being
sense.
tired means you worked hard.
Oh yeah, mentally anyway. I haven't worked hard physically in like 10 years.
What? My brain burns my calories.
Oh yeah, of course. You know.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll
stay
shame
awake
you to get you working physically at the same time. What are you enjoying this season, or what's your escape? It doesn't have to be anime. We don't have to talk anime. We can talk whatever you want.
I'm so behind on seasonal stuff, dude. Like, I got my new job about a month ago, and ever since I've been behind. But I did catch up on. Yes, today's Friday, so it hasn't come out yet. I've caught up on Spy Family. Loving that shit.
Yep.
That's so good.
I think if that one ends right, that is definitely going to be a best of the season.
Oh yeah, easily. 'Cause the
Yeah,
opening
it's
and ending
I'm
are
also
both.
going to welcome Pop Culture popping on in. Our
What's up,
Hey, guys,
Matt?
how's
it going?
mechanic friend.
Poppin' fresh.
What's
No, but yeah,
up, you guys?
what's up? The opening and ending for Spy Family are both like also fucking killer. Can I curse on here or?
Oh
are
yeah.
you- yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you can say as long as it doesn't get me taken off YouTube. Yeah, you can say whatever the hell you want.
Sweet. But yeah, no, the opening and ending are both fantastic. So it's like it adds to the. I mean, the story is great, but it just adds to it that you can keep listening to both and not get tired of them.
Yeah. Have you seen the side by side where they show the opening next to all of the famous art styles that it's copying?
Mm-mm.
I'll see if I can find it and drop it.
Yeah, send me that.
But yeah, it's interesting because you look at the opening and you're like, wow, this is really interesting. I like all this stuff. But then you watch this video where they have the opening above, and then down below it shows all of the artwork by the different genre painters that do all the different styles, and you're like, wow, someone was thinking about this and wasn't just saying like, oh, this looks cool, I'll do that. They
Right.
actually are like mimicking these styles very, very well.
I always go back to Jeff Thu once. And I'm not quoting him directly, but he once, talked about in one of his opening analysis videos, talked about how some you could tell when an opening is really good because like the credits themselves are interwoven into the opening rather than just being copied and pasted and as a text file. It's like they're actually like being impacted by what's going on screen. And I think that these are two examples of openings and endings that like are. Like they utilize the text really well. They utilize the what's going on screen, and it works really well.
Awesome. Pop culture. How
Yeah,
are
I can
you?
second
How are
that.
you
That's
doing
very
this
good.
evening? What was
Hey,
that?
hey, things are going okay. Just relaxing after dinner. Thought I'd catch the old stream.
Nice. Have you been keeping up with the season, or is your only your escape? Am I your escape?
every day. I
There
look
we go.
forward to.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I look forward to 8:00 rolls around my time, and I'm like, oh, Blaine's gonna be on. Better get over there and watch it.
Yeah, I'm actually ashamed that I have not caught one of your streams until tonight. I've been meaning
don't
to.
worry about it.
I keep seeing it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should go check it out. And I'm always just like, oh yeah, like blink, and it's like Moon Knight, and I'm like doing something completely different 3 hours later.
Oh, that's what happens. That's what happens sometimes. But that's why YouTube stores these things, and why we're not competing. It's one of those. It's a weird platform, right? Because like when you had live TV back in the day,
Right.
people had to have a show that was so important that people would watch it or record it because they had to get that stuff. Nowadays, it's like, hey, if you got time, let's check it out. If you don't, whatever, we can have fun.
Are you watching Tomodachi Game?
I am. I haven't seen the latest one. I haven't seen episode 9, but I dropped it at episode 4.
Right.
Episode 4, I was like, oh, they gave it away. This is stupid now. I'm not going to watch it anymore. And then I went on Twitter and someone was like, Tomodachi Game's best anime. I love the mystery. And I was like, either this show is way smarter than I think it is, or it's really stupid. And then I got a comment that I really couldn't parse out. It said something like,
It's
it
as
is
good
as
as you
good as
think it is.
yeah, it's as good as you think it is. And I was like, I just said an either or. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So I picked it back up. I haven't been impressed. I haven't been.
I don't know. I think that it is a binge show. It is a show that you binge because the week to week wait is not worth the anticipation. It just is not. It keeps going up, and then it's like the episode comes out, and it's like this is not what I was thinking it was gonna be. But it's tasty trash. I'm telling you, there's a whole category of.
Is it tasty trash? Goodness.
I mean, to me anyway. Like I enjoy the
Death
out of
Game
nowhere.
Trash. Is that a different genre?
The out of nowhere, like, oh, I'm actually like the Lelouch, except there's no redeemable qualities to me at all. And then it's like actually one of the only other guys in the cast. I'm actually in love with you. What the fuck? Okay, I guess. Actually, that was a lie. And it's this soap opera.
Wait. Was one of the reveals that he was gay?
It was a fake confession, but yes.
It was a bait and kiss. But
yeah, like it was also they can keep the character in the show because like everybody else is gone, I think. So
I didn't want to give that away, so I took a screen cap of like the kiss and like just gave it like the Japanese porn pixelation and posted it, and I was like, I don't know if this is a great show or not, but this is what it is now, and that's all I did.
Like I don't know.
It could have an ending that makes the whole thing a good show,
right?
And I would still not really care, and I would still tell people, if you do want to watch this, just understand that they're in a death game, but instead of death, it's debt. They're in a debt game. And start from episode 5.
It's America the anime, dude. Like,
well, like I disagree. I think Michael and I disagree on this point. I don't think one good episode or one good ending, and I can't tell if you're being sarcastic with me, but I don't think one good show or one good ending makes the whole show good.
I probably said it about something stupid, but
you said it about Shikimori. How do you forget? I never forget.
Oh, yeah. So it was about something stupid. No, I think if the show is just moderately okay, and then like one episode towards the end makes it fine. I don't know. Like there was a show I watched not too long ago. It was one of the standard generic isekais of the season, but the first 3 episodes were really good, and then the rest of it was trash. And I'm like, the only time I ever reviewed something on Crunchyroll, I was like, watch the first 3 episodes and then drop it. So
it's kind of like a taboo tattoo. I watched like the first 4 episodes of that way back when that was airing, and then episode 5 hits, and it's like it goes from this serious, like actually watchable drama to a fan servicey mess. And I was just like, okay, well, I gave it 4 episodes. I think that's about it for me.
Pop culture, what you were saying?
Oh no, it's fine. I'm not really keeping up with the new shows that you guys are.
What
might be well aware.
Old shows, right? Like,
well, that's just it. That's kind of my thing, I guess. I kind of in the past there, I've actually found a neat website where I can kind of see all the things I used to watch, and I've caught up with this one. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's called 801 TTS Airbats. No? Okay. Blank stares from everybody.
Sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
I never heard of it.
No, I don't recognize this.
That's not surprising. It's okay. It came out in 1994, and it's about an aviation mechanic who is transferred to the tactical training squad, but it's all women. All female aerial acrobatic team, and the two of the female characters fall in love with the mechanic, and then love triangle ensues. So it's a short one. It's only
classic,
7 episodes.
Classic 94.
Yeah,
it was a short manga run too. Only 3 volumes in over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching or is anyone watching Trapped in a Dating Sim?
Yes.
I'm like surprised.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm surprised at how good that one is. It's like
okay, so
it has every sign of being a trash isekai, and then like it turns out that it's just like really well written, and the characters are like actually likable.
And it has a fantastic dub.
Really?
Jordan Dash Cruz is running the main characters, is like his first main role. And the main character in that show gets to have these crazy monologues, gets to have like haughty speak, gets to have funny reactions. Like he's really getting to stretch all of his vocal cords with the role, and he's just having a blast with it. And I think that's the best part, is the character hates the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like this Because typically with like a trash isekai, they're like, oh, I don't know how this world works. I'm a dum-dum. I've got a special power that makes me good. Oh, look, I got a harem. Awesome. Meanwhile, he's in this game and he's like, I understand how this game works. And I fucking hate it. And I don't want to be in this. Just let me go farm. I have to get married because that's the only way I'm going to... I still don't know why. I don't know why the main character is dating when he has a robot that will get him as much gold as he needs. And
It's
he
the
desperately
matriarchal
wants to
society.
what does he like? Here's what they need to do. He needs to have started building his little onsen house, and some government agent needs his matriarch to sign off on the planning permit. Now I've got a reason for him to go to the school and get married because his mom won't do it. Like I need a little bit more, but it's still fun as it is. I'm quite enjoying it.
I don't know.
Imagine-
I feel like he knows it's coming, so we might as well prepare for it.
Mm.
Yeah, like, and also it's I mean, I'm only halfway through the available episodes at the moment, but like I don't know. I'm loving it because it feels like wait, one of my favorite isekais. I have a short list in my head, but I always forget what they are. But I know that like the top, I'm pretty sure, is still ReZero, and like ReZero, like. Yeah, Natsuki Subaru is a dumbass, but it's I think part of the redeeming, at least in the first part of ReZero. It's an amazingly well told story, but like, you know, him being a dumbass does kind of grate on the ears a little bit sometimes. But it's because you see him die so many times that it's like, okay, he's getting a little bit of what he deserves. He's a fucking idiot. But but I think in this case, it's just the stereotypical speedrunner has been reborn in another world. So he's just like, okay, I'm gonna apply all these cheats and let's go for it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's fun.
Dream is reborn.
It's the attitude of Kazuma, but understanding how the world works to a point where he can exploit it more.
Right.
And I think that's the best part, because in the like Konosuba is great. I really do like that. But it definitely grates a little bit when it comes to they just keep getting shut down and reset, and it's like, okay, after a certain amount of time I get tired of watching that.
Right.
What is up? Call me John. How are you doing?
Hi,
Today
John.
we've got Michael from chat. We've got Pop Culture Mechanic also from chat, and we have Pixelation from Pixelation, the YouTube channel, and Twitch. Do you Twitch more than you YouTube? I feel like I only ever see stuff on replays on your YouTube.
I haven't done any streaming really in a month and a half, but my main home is on YouTube. I just whenever you stumbled across my recap video, I was doing weekly streams, and then I just haven't done it in a while. So.
Oh, I see. I'm the curse, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. I blame you, Blaine. I blame you.
You blamed me. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's been blaming me my whole life. What website even were you talking about, Pop Culture, where you saw that? Because that is a vintage show, and I don't think I see it on High Dive.
Yeah.
Retro Crush?
It's called Animix Play.
Are we sailing the seas?
Yar there, matey.
Okay.
Gonna become king of the pirates?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that show's still around. Crazy.
Oh, I love it. I'm watching it
Still
as
around, it's great.
I'm watching it as I work out, which isn't very often, as you could probably tell. But but whenever I do go to the gym, I actually watch it, and I'm already at Punk Hazard, and it's like I genuinely enjoy One Piece.
Well, that's
That's
good. I
good.
got it. I'm buying the DVDs too, and I'm working my way through Fishman Island. So
Oh, nice, yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
arc. I mean, it's a long one, but
That's
it's
a good one.
yeah,
But I can't even talk about long arcs when it comes to One Piece because I'm about to go into Dressrosa, which is like 115 episodes. So
So long.
well,
Yeah.
don't worry about that because upcoming is Wano. So
yeah,
Take it
yeah,
over.
even longer.
Yeah.
But it just ended in the manga, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is it already over? I
That's
thought
what
it
I-
had like a couple more chapters.
That's what I heard was that it ended today or
The fight's over, but it's
Oh,
the,
okay.
the wrap up now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't mind me. I'm
Oh
just
God,
copying.
we're gonna have to go to Shanks next.
Maybe.
All
Or
right,
maybe-
cool. Now we're all in the description.
Well, they
Except for
gotta have
Michael's
some
is-
filler or something. Like they're gonna do like a
Probably.
wrap up, I'm sure, and throw out some more knowledge or whatever, or drop some truth bombs about this and that, and more
Oh
Comic Book
yeah,
stuff.
it's gonna be hit after hit though. It's gonna be one of those things where it's like, hey, this is the real One Piece, and it's gonna be like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
All I
like
saw was a
I
tweet
can't
that
see
said,
how it keeps going after Wano. Sorry for talking over you.
you can talk all you want. It's fine. I mean, if I don't want you to talk, I'll just mute you.
Right.
Fair enough.
No,
Mark, I do-
I saw a tweet today, and I was like, "Oh, I guess something's happened with One Piece," and it was someone like, when we learned that the One Piece was the friends we made along the way, and I was like, "Oh, man, if they just like dump the show, just tank the ending,
Oh
how
man.
mad would so
No,
many people
dude,
be?"
that's gonna be the ending. That's gonna be the ending. I
Now,
swear.
he apparently Oda has said that One Piece is a tangible object. Like it is something that they can actually take home, I guess.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So it's not going to be
a yellow
no.
poneglyph.
It's going to be a solid gold bust of Shanks or some shit, or like Gold Roger. It's going to be yeah.
What if it's just a pool
It's just gonna be
floating?
Shanks' arm.
The fucking the fish that ate
Yeah.
it was the was actually the reincarnation of Roger the entire time.
The internet would go down. No, the internet
yeah.
will go down if we ever get more than a picture of a corner of a manga panel from the guy writing Hunter x Hunter.
Dude,
Yeah.
you should like find out where he lives and leak one of those. You'll get 1,000 likes, millions
That's
maybe.
not a bad
The-
idea, actually.
I love. Okay, I gotta say, I love all of these anime pages on Facebook that are like, you know, they thrive off of clicks, you know, and they have to, and they post the picture of you know.
Hey! Don't badmouth thriving off clicks.
Oh no, I do the same thing. It's fine. I can talk about it because I do too. But the
No, the mirror's right there. I could see it.
yeah, of course. With the I don't know, shit. I lost my train of thought. When they like, for example, I saw one that was like, "Oh, Gon and Killua are not going to be in the next season," and I'm like, "Okay, hold on." They announced 6 new chapters or 6 pages. I don't know. They announced 6 something. That
Gotta
does
be
not
6
mean
chapters because he's on page 17 or something like that.
yeah, it's like that does not mean that they're making another anime yet. Like let's put the brakes on for a second. Like, you know,
Right.
like it makes sense to say that Gojo's not going to be very present in the next season of Jujutsu Kaisen because of the fact that what happens in the manga, and plus we know that there's going to be a second season. But like with Hunter x Hunter, it's like we don't have any reason to believe they're making another anime yet. I mean, they might. And
I think
you
they
know,
have to.
they probably will at some point, but we should like taper our expectations a little bit. It's kind of like those people that are like, why can't we? When are we going to get Aura on season 2? We're never going to get Aura on season 2. Stop asking.
No, we
Or-
don't
God,
need
those
Aura on
people
season
still
2.
exist.
Aura came out in 2006. Chill, y'all.
Although let's be fair, one of my favorite shows, Full Metal Panic, got season 4 last year or the year before, and that
Like
show aired in
2017?
2002. Like, dreams do come true, unless you're talking about No Game No Life.
Oh yeah, but it was also by Zebek, and Zebek is Garbo.
Oh,
That's
imagine if they did reboot it, Serranos. Rather than just make more anime, they just reboot it to maintain like consistent style or whatever excuse they have. And we just end up like Hunter x Hunter turns into Berserk, where there's like 4 different arcs in 3 different styles by 5 different studios. You're like, why does this all look like garbage?
Hunter x Hunter Brotherhood,
Oh, goodness.
animated by Mappa, because Mappa's the only studio making things anymore.
We've been going through 2010 to today, because the anime guy, that's his next series is talking about 2010s to today, best anime. What's your favorite anime from that time period? I forgot how many things Madhouse put out. I just forgot they existed. I was like, Wow.
2010s today. That's a long fucking range.
It is a huge range.
I don't
He
even
did
know what year
1990s.
last year, let alone fucking 2010.
That's the thing. He did the 90s for a month, and then he did the 2000s for a month. And like 2000s, I was able to put together a top 5, but I had like 4 honorable mentions. Now it's like
Yeah, and all of them were
2010s to today. As we're going through it, I'm like, man, I really liked that show. Oh, I really like that show. Oh, I like. I'm probably gonna just put together like the top 5 booby anime. I'll just do the Opie list because I can do DxD, High School of the Dead, and everything else that Sekirei, I think. No, Sekirei was 2000s. I'll just do that instead. Just make a whole meme list.
I'm opening up Annie chart. I'm gonna see what aired in 2010 because I don't remember. The rah rah rah.
Here, I'm up to 2014, and I have put 102 anime that I have seen.
Oh Lord,
That's pretty good.
Bento, freaking great. Everybody needs to watch Bento. Elite Booba Show. Yep. FMP got a new season. Yeah, they got a season 4.
it was like
And it's
2017,
decent.
wasn't it? It was like
Yeah, it was really recently.
it was a Invisible Victory in like 2017, I think.
Mach and Key, High School of Dead. Like right here. These are 3 of my top 5. Bento, High School of Dead, Mach and Key. And then we just gotta scroll through until we find more Opie, and then we can pick the rest. Cat Planet Cuties. That was 2012, I think we found. Crazy. Because like the internet exploded. There were just so many shows available.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that was right. Yeah, that was around the time when like it became more commonplace to have like seasonal stuff on Crunchyroll. I didn't actually start like keeping up with stuff until 2016, I think. So.
Oh no, it's just like Louis Kemner.
That's so Louis Kemner, for reference there, Pixel, is a guy that watched Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z when he was a kid in the 90s, and then stopped watching anime until like 3 years ago. And he writes articles on CBR that we like to read and make fun of because you can tell that he's missing like decades of anime in his knowledge. So
Oh no,
like,
trust me, I watched anime before. I'm not that degenerate. No, I watched anime. I just didn't watch streaming anime like modern stuff. And so I think the first
there you
season I caught up with stuff was back when Erased was a thing that was airing.
The live action or the anime?
The anime. That was like 2016. And then, before then, I would just catch up on stuff throughout, like whenever I can get my hands on DVDs and stuff.
Mhm.
So it was like I was a broke bitch. So
You're another physical media person.
oh yes,
You and pop culture can hang out together.
That's right.
all my stuff is in boxes right now because I'm moving. But yeah, I have like over 50 physical PS4 games and several less copies of anime. So
Yeah. No,
I went to Walmart and I was like, oh, they're selling the entire Death Note series for $16. I cannot pass that up.
Yeah, don't even sweat it. I started a lot later than you, and I watched a lot less than you. So any jokes or more digs at me? I don't know.
Don't worry about it. I'll joke about everybody here.
That's right. And don't forget, it also goes by how old you are, too.
Oh, my goodness. Because I remember in the 90s when like I would go with my dad to a place called Scarecrow Video, and we'd rent anime from the international animation section. It wasn't even like specifically anime. It wasn't specifically Japanese. And so you'd get like French animation. You'd get weird like Dutch shows that were popular as well. But then there would be like really cool robots and stuff. You're like, oh, let's watch this one. Or like ninjas. You're like, oh, let's watch this one. So I remember those physical media days. We never bought any because we could just rent them. But then I got a computer and the internet, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can watch it all.
It would
And
be
then
helpful. Sorry, go ahead.
I became a NEET. I went straight hikikomori. That's why Welcome to the NHK speaks to me so well, because I straight up took probably 3 years of my life and didn't have friends and just watched anime. So I recommend that for no human, but I do have a wealth of knowledge now.
I mean, you don't recommend it, but we just had that with COVID.
That is true. How, like, what happened? I started doing like woodworking. It was like, I don't really want to watch all these shows, my watch list. I'll go do a chore. I was like, what's wrong with me?
Oh yeah, there was a Stitch anime, isn't there? There's a 29 episodes of
Yep.
Stitch encounters a Japanese little girl. No, but the it would help just for my sake, like, how old is everybody? Because we can know like what is going on with y'all's history, anime history.
I was born in
19.
1990.
Oh wow, what's up?
So what's up, Michael?
Oh, I'm only 19.
Okay, oh wow, oh wow.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I turned 49 last month.
Oh, okay. I don't feel so bad anymore.
No, you shouldn't.
I was like, Blaine's a couple years older than I am, but I was like, oh man, am I gonna be the second oldest person here? Like,
Pop culture always fascinates me because he has these videos on like the ColecoVision, and like my grandma had the Atari 2600,
right.
and then she upgraded from that straight to the NES. So like all of those, what I would classify as like weird offshoot game consoles, he actually like does entire series of them. I'm like, man, I don't know any of this.
That's cool shit.
It's fun stuff.
Yeah, I like I like the idea of doing like
Regrets goes empty.
Go scream about it.
Refill for Blaine. Refill for Blaine.
I like the idea of doing like dedicated series on like one particular topic and doing like 10 videos on that topic throughout the month, like kind of like what you were saying about Anime Guy. I like the idea. It's just my attention span is so low.
It's like, okay, so it is the best thing you can do for the algorithm is to do this. Like if you made the same video and released it 10 days in a row with the same title, the algorithm would be like, oh, I know what this guy's into. And then it'll know to feed people who are into that thing.
Yeah.
As soon as you do something that deviates from that, suddenly the algorithm has to like figure out what else you're doing or why else you're doing it. So it's very, very annoying. But if you did the same thing every day, you would be feeding the algorithm correctly.
It's probably got a lot to do with the fact that for the last 5 years, I have gone between doing anime and video games, which as a human, I can tell you there are similarities between those two topics, but as I can see that a computer does not recognize that.
Well, exactly.
So it's like, but it's still one of those things where I'm like, I don't see myself changing anytime soon. So I might just have to buckle in and,
The easiest change, if you want to actually like trick the algorithm, is to like talk anime on your YouTube channel and then switch over to Twitch when you want to do video games. And that way you can feed your brain for having diversity, but you can also do very, very similar things in each algorithmic space.
I thought about just
how we doing, lovely Sherry? I'm throwing out links, so if you want a link to jump in here and talk about your favorite escape, hit me up on Twitter DMs. Should be a pinned comment.
I thought about making two channels, just putting one topic on one and one on the other, but that stressed me out too much. So I said, no, I'm good.
Yeah, having multiple YouTube channels can be a little annoying, but if it's like for some reason logging into a different location is a lot easier on me.
Right.
And that's like I had a Let's Play years ago. It was probably like 2013. When did JonTron leave Game Grumps? That's kind of when I started my Let's Play. I did that for like a couple years. And then my wife and I do a travel channel called Blaine and Katie. And and that's all Japan, all specific. So this is the third.
Yeah, I think it was 2013.
Oh yeah, 2013. Yeah,
That
So
sounds familiar.
and the algorithm is vastly different from when it was all of those previous eras,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like I remember the era where all you needed was watch time. If people watched your videos for X amount of time, you'd get bumped up the list and you're good to go. Then there was the clickbait era where all you needed was people to click on your video. Just it's crazy. It's crazy how it changes, but they're like, oh, I don't know how it works. It just works.
It just works.
It just works. But you know what's not run by an algorithm? The manga industry and the doujin industry. And that's why we have so many good shows. Because like you were saying, I want to go back to this a little bit. 2010 to today has more shows than have ever been made. Like I don't know that empirically, but something in my gut tells me that more shows were made between those two, between 2010 and today, than 2010 and prior.
I believe it.
Oh, I'm sending out DMs again.
So-
Look at me.
I know Blaine doesn't buy manga anymore, but I don't know if you two have either, but have you noticed that like they don't release like new series until the show's already airing for it?
Not necessarily. I mean, I do see that happens a lot, but like a lot of times I notice that like if I hear that a show's coming out, I'll go to like Kinokuniya and I'll look at what they have, and that they already have like 10 volumes out. You know, that could just be a synchronicity in the sense that like once you hear about the show, then you hear about the manga. But like I know, like for example, like Spy Family, you know, I know that's an outlier because it's a popular one, but like I went to the store and they had like 15 volumes, and I was like, huh, I did not even realize it was publishing until after I realized that the manga was out or the anime was out. So
Well, a lot of that stuff, you don't really get global distribution until they tie it to a show that's going to air.
right.
So it could be that you just didn't have the opportunity to even see that it exists until someone signs on with like, yeah, we'll take Spy Family, and they have to buy like 4 other anime at the same time. Plus, then the publishing rights get brought along with it, kind of a thing.
Right. Also, I have the privilege of having a store like that, like Kinokuniya. I know that they don't have them everywhere, but like it's basically, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a Japanese culture bookstore, and they have like the entire one of the entire walls of the store is covered in manga. You know, from and light novels of all different
No,
shades.
I love Kinokuniya. If you don't
Yeah.
have one near you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's such a great store. But the like for example, I just picked up Sweat and Soap, which is this spicy. No, I wouldn't call it an era manga, but it's definitely a spicy manga. That it has.
It's called Sweat and Soap.
Yeah.
It's a
The-
prison manga.
No, it's about this chick who is she grew up with like severe body odor, and she was always self-conscious about it, and so she like layered herself in like cologne and deodorant and stuff, and then so she started working at this when she graduated and all that, she went and started working at this soap factory that she loved, and then she meets this dude who's like in love with her scent, and they just go, it just goes crazy from there. And it's fueled by fetishes, but it's like it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm enjoying it. It's good.
That is hilarious,
Plus,
because that
like-
is a like in Japan they sell these like it's like a pad, but it's for your armpits, so like you
Oh,
can
yeah.
stick it on there so you can wear your suit all day, because all the office workers are always in suits. And they have pads that you can stick like anywhere, like small your back, wherever you may be sweating. So like that is it's probably a much larger market that's into this show or manga
Right.
than we might expect.
Well, what's more is that like I only picked it up because I noticed that it's one of those manga that it ends after 11 volumes, which is like, okay, so they had a story that they wanted to tell, and they told the story, and is done. So I was like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm gonna pick up 11 volumes. I can just buy those with no real delay, so.
So what?
Yeah, those
what
are the
do you
best.
think? What do you think of stories that are short like that, compared to stories that are long and epic?
I think there's good things in both. I think it depends on the author and and what they intend, what they're intending. Like I feel like if you come out into the scene and you're and you make a Black Clover and it goes on for many years, I think that's not a bad thing. I think that if you come out and you make a Sweat and Soap and it's only 11 volumes, that's perfectly valid as well. But I also think that if you come out and you make a Maho Shoujo slice of life series, and you want to make a shonen action series, and the publisher, or no, that you don't want to make a shonen action series, and the publisher is like, "Hey, y'all should make a shonen action series," and then you try to force it, like they did with Maho Sensei Negima, I think that that's a problem. But that's the whole video that I've already posted. Go watch on my show.
What about the rest of the panel, Michael? What do you think of sort of long form versus short form?
Yeah, I'm just more thinking of it along the lines of like which ones I get more attached to, and I think the longer ones, well, they're longer, so I have more time to get used to the characters. But that doesn't mean I like One Piece more than something like Gal Gohan, which is great. I like that one, but I guess I'm more attached to One Piece because I've just been with it quite a bit longer.
Right. So you got more time to get invested with the characters and feel it. Pop culture. I already know your answer.
Well, the longer ones are it's just on how the story's written and how it goes. Like Michael's saying with One Piece, yeah, it goes and goes and goes because the writing is so good and compelling. You just keep going. You want to know more. But then there's other ones that only run maybe, I don't know, 3 volumes, 4 volumes. And as long as the mangaka has a clear idea of what he wants to write or what he or she wants to write, then they can convey that to us and make it a good story for us to read. So they both have their good points. Whereas the short ones, at least you can get it done, and you're like, well, maybe hopefully they come out with another series, or got your long one, you can just start with volume 1 and work up to volume 100 or whatever it gets up to.
Right. I think,
yeah, I think what we're all
not enough
saying,
of them.
Sorry about that. Go on.
I'm about to rage, so you go first.
Okay, I was gonna say what we're all saying is you should watch One Piece Flame.
Oh, I guess that. Yeah, sure. We can all say that. It'll happen at some point. When it's done, I'll watch One Piece. All right.
Soranos. I have to say, I don't know if that's true anymore. At least in terms of the anime, it seems like they're not really wanting to adapt the next part anytime soon. They're focused on progressive. They don't really want to do any more TV series, it seems. But
I did like GGO. That was fun.
I loved that one. That was so good.
Yeah.
Not enough artists, authors, whatever, write down a global plan and say, here's how it ends. There is one show that does it well, or one manga that does it well. Golgo 13 does it well. They set it up. He's an assassin, and the time period doesn't matter. None of this matters as long as you give the guy a gun and tell him to go kill something, and it's all topical. The original mangaka said, keep it going. Let Gogo outlive me. Just make sure it's topical and keep it going. You've read my stuff. You know how to keep it going. You don't need like an overarching story. But you get something like One Piece. You get something like Berserk. You get something like Hunter x Hunter, where they start off with this idea of like, well, I got this kid and he's going to go on this adventure and he's going to meet this person, he's going to meet that person, and they start writing it. And then people start getting invested in characters, and then people start saying, oh, well, I like this guy, and this guy is where I think the story's going, and they start getting influenced by their audience, and then their audience starts dictating where the story goes. And instead of getting like a tight 3, like an original Tolkien series, we end up with George R.R. Martin, where books are just like taking forever to write. Who knows what it's gonna be like when it finally comes out? People just move on with the story, and it just never like fully manifests as like what could have been this nice tight, like, this is all we need. Here we are. We're done. So yes, you can get like oh, we like these characters because you got more time to meet the characters. Anytime you spend more time with someone, you're either going to just really hate them or really love them. You don't usually spend a lot of time with someone that you end up being like, yeah, they exist. Okay. And then, you know, so you can really fall in love with them, but at the same time, you can really hate them, and you can really just be like, we just need to get to the end of the story at some point. And Berserk was close to being really good, but there are some long sections in Berserk where you're like, oh my goodness, we're just learning about these people. Get back to the apostles. I want to figure out how all this shit works. Like, just move on with it. It just drags and drags and drags, and I'm too damn old to keep up with all this dragging on content.
Yeah, I
mean
definitely
Dragon Ball
feel
Kai.
that with the part 3 of JoJo. Just goes on for way too long, and you can't really enjoy it until you just finish it.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess I enjoyed part 3, but I do have to say, to a degree, I agree with you, because I was like, oh, wow, there's 4 cores of Stardust Crusaders. It's, yeah, the halfway through it changes names, but it's all Stardust Crusaders. You know, and of course, I couldn't have. I don't think I could have properly enjoyed my favorite part, which was Diamond is Unbreakable, without having watched that. So I'm glad I did. So
Yeah, true.
what's part? Oh, Phantom Blood is the worst, though. Let's just go ahead and jump.
Oh, wait a minute. You dissing Jonathan?
Yes.
Come on.
I could only stomach it because I watched the dub, and let's just be real, the JoJo's dub is amazing. But yeah, no, I tried watching the sub, and I was like, I got like 3 episodes in, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. And then like 3 years later, I picked up during the pandemic, I picked up the dub, and I was like, okay, this is actually very good. But that being said, it's like, it's that drawing of a horse where part 1 is like a cartoon, it's like a crayon drawing, and then part 2 starts to get better, and then part 3 starts to get better, part 4 gets better, part 5 take a little bit of a dip, but it's still pretty good, and then, you know, part 6 is Netflix. So
JoJo is the one anime that you can switch from dub to sub, and it makes sense canonically. I love Jonathan and that whole series, but I also hate it because it's so by the numbers. But I love Joseph. Part 2 is such a good series. You build off the previous. You're adding a few more powers, we'll say. You know, you're playing around with what it means. You get introduced to the way that Araki, is that the how he can find weird solutions that you wouldn't have necessarily thought of. Like you're getting into what makes him a really good like battle and quest designer. And I feel like stands and like the reliance on stands has kind of killed that, because like stands are just kind of the like they're a Deus Ex Machina at this point practically. It's like, well, this one does this. Oh, and it also works like this sometimes. And if you get it wet, then it does that. And you're like, okay, well now I can't figure things out. When it allows bubbles in a room reflecting light, like I got that. That's cool. I like that. It's not real.
It allows me to turn into smoke, but only on Wednesdays when it's raining. Like
right.
It's like, I get it, I do, but I also think that JoJo's without stands is not JoJo's anymore. At one point it might have been, but like at this point you can't go back to Hamon and just expect us all to be like, oh yeah, that's fine.
No, I would love it if it went back to Hammond.
Ham and cheese.
It needs to bring back Hamon like 100%, but it shouldn't make it Hamon again.
Right.
What we need is like stands, like the original stands were great. The tarot cards, cool. We've got a specific number. They're linked to this Egyptian thing. And we've got Egyptian gods because it's Egyptian. All right, cool. We all watched Yu-Gi-Oh. We can follow along with the gods. It needs to then move to something else. And if that's bringing in Hamon, transferring Hamon through my stand, if that's bringing in a different power. Maybe the moon has a power. Maybe we get like a JoJo that has vampire powers that is like a Dio Part 2, but a good guy. Like that would be unique and interesting, I feel. And I don't read the manga, so who knows if Sailor Boy Joe is gonna be the vampire Joe that I'm hoping he is.
Well, I will tell you. Oh, sorry. I will tell you though that I'm not going to spoil it or anything, but from what I've gathered, a certain spinoff, if you will, of Hamon exists in Steel Ball Run. I think I've heard that, like, because anytime you bring in a Zeppeli, they have to be experienced in Hamon, and there is a Zeppeli in Steel Ball Run, so it's like, okay, but
Good.
Oh, Zeppeli, he was the best. Both of them.
Caesar.
The best part is when Speedwagon puts on his hat. Like it's one of the best scenes.
Like, how can you not like part 1? He flicks his hat and blades come out. Like,
That
who
is
thinks
true.
of that?
A short person who works for a bad guy.
Like, one of the episodes opens with it's just a cold open. Jack the Ripper terrorized the streets of London, but nothing compares to the terror caused by Dio and JoJo or whatever. Like, it just, some of the cold opens and like things he thinks of for part 1 are my favorite in the entire series. Like, who's that guy who just had the slow kick?
Slow kick.
He just has a slow kick and then like he gets reverse decapitated. His entire body's gone. Like in an instant. It's great.
Blaine, what you said earlier got me thinking, like, how it went from tarot cards to Egyptian gods until now there's a fucking stand called Bohemian Rhapsody, and I'm just like, how do we get here? I don't really care how we got here because I love it, but how did we get here?
They had like specific theming that was really good.
Right.
And then they sort of just said, well, what if they're just Pokemon? And we ended up with ice cream. And it was like, uh-oh. The ice cream stand is here.
If there's a there's a real possibility that whenever Netflix decides to get off their ass and put out part 2 of Stone Ocean, that we're gonna get Flaccid Pancake. And I'm so ready. Limp Bizkit, Flaccid Pancake. I mean, what do you
Yep.
you know? Let's go.
All right, we got another guest with us today. Straight from the chat, we've got Serranos. How are you doing today, friend? Oh, if you can hear me.
Serranos.
I can't actually hear anybody else through the restream. It's kind of odd.
You can't hear anybody else?
Yeah, I'm
What?
not sure why.
Can you
Just
hear
you.
me?
Yeah, just you.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, so he can't hear me challenge him to blood sports right now?
This is the time. Say whatever you want to
do you have a
Serranos.
favorite
He won't
One
know.
Piece character? They're trash, okay? Mine's better. Whoever they are.
I don't watch One Piece, and I never will. Nobody will ever force me to do it.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
That should
How about you read it then? It's pretty good.
that should be a punishment for people who have life sentences in prison. Just like make them watch a long anime.
Oh.
Oh, like 1 episode a day.
Yeah. But
No, make it one a week like the rest of us.
Oh, that would be much worse.
Yeah, that's a painful wait.
I sentence you to Bleach, One Piece, and all the filler. I don't know. All the filler in Naruto.
That's like a 4-year sentence right there.
I sentence you to watch the Bount arc every day for the next 60 years.
Oh, God.
Oh, cruel and unusual punishment right there.
Oh my goodness. That was where I dropped Bleach. I don't know how you knew that.
Just because, I mean, I think that's a lot of people because it comes right after the Substitute Soul Reaper arc, which is like top tier Bleach, and then after that, it's like, oh, okay, so that was a fucking lie. When you promised us we were going to have a good show, that was a fucking lie. And I would like to watch it because we are getting the finale this hopefully like October, I think. But I'm just like I don't know. Do I have it?
Can't
Do
go
I have?
back.
Do I have it in me?
I don't know. Hopefully they fix the finale, but there was a lot of stuff they like skimmed through.
It's been like 8 years. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah.
I
It's so
remember
funny that they just
loving that.
they stop it right before the final season would have been.
Right. I always found it funny because most of my experience with Bleach was through Adult Swim, and so from my experience, and it may be like this, I don't know, but from my experience, 1 week would be like Ichigo was finally up against Ulquiorra or Grimjow, and it's really serious fighting time, and then like to be continued, and the next week it would pick up. Hey everybody, we're going to the beach. Or Hime's not kidnapped. Everything is fine. Let's all go to the beach, everybody. It was like, okay.
We could just stay at the beach. That'd be better.
Yeah, that was some grating stuff.
That was when I was torrenting everything, so I didn't really know when it came out, and so you'd have to like find the like latest episode and like cross your fingers,
Right.
or find like the all episodes download because you knew that user, and then you'd have to go into like the sub file and like decline all like 1 through 116, and then you'd say yes to 117 because it's the only one you needed. Man, those were the days. I had to work hard for my anime.
It reminds me of whenever I was watching Shippuden, way back when it pretty much first started. It was like around the time when that second arc was like just getting started. It was like, oh yeah, I remember when I could actually stomach the sub of Naruto, and now I just all I want to do is watch the dub of Naruto, and Viz will not put it anywhere within arm's reach. I would pay Viz. I know you're watching this. Come on, Blaine's a famous YouTuber. If you would just put it on Crunchyroll or somewhere, and I would pay a premium to fucking watch the Naruto dub. Like, I don't want to spend all this money on Blu-rays. I'd rather just, stream it.
Is it not on High Dive?
No, I think Naruto Vanilla is on Crunchyroll or Funimation or one of the two. Shippuden is on Hulu up until like 100 episodes in, and then it goes sub only. And I'm like, yeah,
How strange.
I could just be a adult anime fan and just watch the damn sub, but it's like, I don't know. There's something about the dub that I like. Maybe it's because I grew up with it and it's consistent. I don't know, but I like it.
Explanation Point has a perfect video on this. They go through the dub versus the sub of My Hero Academia. And what you find out, which at first you may not know why you like one or the other, but English says, I did this. Japanese says, this happened to me. So the sub is extremely passive with how Deku is progressing versus the dub is him being very active in what he's doing and how he's doing it. And that is allowing him to just be a more relatable character to me, of like not just saying, oh, well, that happened to me. Awesome. Or that happened to me. That's cool. But actually like stepping up and making things happen. And I prefer the dub of My Hero for that reason.
To be honest, though,
definitely works.
To be honest, though, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Anything with Kellen Goff at this point is a winner in my book. He was Overhaul, and he did a fantastic job as Overhaul. But he was, like, for example, recently I haven't finished it yet, but I got like 7 episodes into Sasaki and Mieno last season,
Mm-hmm.
and he was Sasaki. He's one of the two. I don't know, but the point of the matter is he did a really good job with that too. And it's just one of those things where like there are some winners in the new guard of anime dubs that are like really starting to like come into their own, and it's really cool.
Definitely. And I've been having a blast with that because that's, again, like we were talking about, there's so much new anime. Like there's an anime for somebody to have their main role, and we can see if people like them or not. That there's enough out there for everybody to get a chance. And I'm starting to see more and more people get a chance. And it's really cool, really awesome to see. Because I remember when every dub had the same 6 people: Greg Aries, Chris Patton, Lucy Christensen, and who
Don't
is,
forget Scott McNeil.
Yep, and Talitha Testarossa, who does not Tia Ballard, who does that? But you had the same like 6 or 8 people that would do every show, and you're like, man, I really like that voice. I'll track them around, but they did every show, and getting some variety is just really nice. And you know, I could care less about you know, there's so many calls right now for like let black actors play black characters and let trans people play trans characters, and it's like, just let the person whose voice matches play that character, because I just want to hear everybody's voice at this point. Like I'm tired of the weird gatekeeping that I'm seeing. It's like, just let everybody talk, and whoever talks best, go with them. I hear you, Serranos. You're a little quiet.
I did reload my just the page. I just reload the page, you know, just turn off and on again, and now I can hear other people.
There you go.
Yeah, you can see problems with that with Kenobi. With the show Kenobi.
Oh, Kenobi.
Yeah,
You saw Old
the
Man
actress that
Screams at
shows
Cloud?
for the one Inquisitor lady. She's not
Mhm.
very good.
You just don't like her.
Is it the new
her-
Disney Plus?
Yeah,
Star
the
Wars?
new Kenobi show that just came out.
Okay,
Her
so
acting chops just aren't that good.
real quick, I just want to interject here and say that she is actually doing a fantastic job, and the reason I say that is because she's a bad guy, and bad guys do bad things. And a lot of people who, and I'm not saying you have this
Sure.
complaint, but a lot of people have this complaint of, oh, I don't like her character. I'm like, well, yeah, you're not supposed to like her character. She's a fucking villain. Like, get over yourself. If anything, I think that, like, I don't know. I feel like if anything, you would be able to say that, like, you know, I'll wait until, you know, episode 6 comes out and see what happens with it. I just feel like we need to like hold off on the, oh, she's not a good character until we find out, like, because I have a feeling that she has like 3 or 4 layers of depth that they just have not revealed yet. There's
Drop it.
What's up?
Oh yeah, they have those layers.
I'm in episode 1. If you don't like it, drop it kind of
Oh, yeah,
the
that-
directors don't actually know. The directors don't know what they're doing. That's an even bigger problem for less experienced actors.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that is fair to people. I do appreciate the, you know, the in anime's 3-episode rule or 1 episode or whatever. But the, like, for example, like this past episode of Obi-Wan, I was staring at the TV like, I just have a feeling that she is not being forward with this. You know, I feel like she's not exactly. And yes, you could make an argument to say that that's a writing flaw, and it very well could be. But I'm gonna wait until it's over to judge that.
I'd probably wait until she's in a completely different show to judge her more.
That's
Yep.
fair.
That's all.
I would say 9 times out of 10, if you have a bad like a bad performance, it's the director, because what they're saying is, go, all right, good enough, next, good enough, next, good enough, next, and they're just cramming out like whatever the next scene is, rather than going back and focusing in and saying, no, let's get this done right, let's get this done the way it's supposed to be.
But we also have we also have to consider the idea that, like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm watching. I'm actually in the middle of my chronological watch, and I cannot stand Star Wars fans. I fucking hate most of them. Like, they like there are what they call the fandom menace, which is like the people who are currently review bombing the show because they don't like Moses Ingram. And it's not because they don't like the show, it's because they don't like Moses Ingram, let's be real. And I feel like there's a...
Well, but do they not like her? They did not like her character.
It could be one or the other.
Everything combined.
But I feel like I said, like, if you don't like your character, don't go review bomb the show. That if you don't like the character, that means they are doing a good job, because you're not supposed to like the character. If you don't like the show, then, you know, be honest and review it. But it's just one of those things where there are, like, there's no way that it's a fucking 3.5 on Metacritic. Like, let's be real, it's a damn good show.
I'll say, I don't know. I think 4 sounds about right for what I
Every single episode, I'm like, I'm like I scream at my TV at the end because I'm so excited for the next one, So it's just like I don't see it. Maybe I'm just being,
I'll probably just wait for the season 10 before I even look at it anymore. Like 3 episodes is enough.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to pretend like I'm like doing the opposite of what I'm complaining about. Like I don't want to seem like I'm like hating like your opinion because that's your opinion.
I know. I feel fine. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where I'm like I see all these like.
There's always annoying people that talk too much. I'm one of those people. Except I usually try to temper myself as much as possible.
Like comment sections of any post relating to Star Wars, I'm just like I go in there expecting to be disappointed, and I usually am. So
I'm too much of a conspiracy theorist to believe that it's not all Disney's doing to build hype.
Yeah, I mean
That sounds about right.
Let's make this character do something that makes no sense whatsoever. That would
Dave Filoni is a master. He's a master at his craft. Okay, he's proven that by this point. He's a very good.
Dave Filoni. Hold on. Let me pull
Very
this up.
good.
I trust him less now, honestly, than when he was doing Clone Wars.
Well, I get that, but it's like I feel like regardless, he has proven himself as a fan of Star Wars. At the very least, you cannot say he's not a fan of Star Wars.
I would never say that. No. Yeah.
And
Are we talking about this guy?
yes,
Yeah, you can tell he's a Star Wars fan. Let's look at his eyes.
That's fucked up, but okay.
That guy definitely owns replica lightsabers.
But that being said, it's like I feel like
What else has he done? Hold on, let me dig into this.
He
Let's
did
see.
Clone Wars. He basically created this.
He's
I don't know anything
47.
else he
He's
did
got to
outside
have done
Clone Wars,
stuff
actually,
that I've
other like
seen.
recent Star Wars stuff.
I straight up do not care about Star Wars. The last time I cared about Star Wars, I was 8 and playing with the toys with my buddy back before people who had like serious neckbeards started absorbing all of the toys in existence. This was like prequels. I was really into Star
Instead
Wars.
of beard oil, they just grind up and melt the little toys.
They bought all of the ocean that touched Leia's bikini, and they used that on their cocks.
Well, don't worry. You can catch up on all the times you missed. Tons of toys now you can pick up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they're all out.
In the sale aisle now. Hold on, let's see. 2005, the Win Awards was in the art department. Director on The Mandalorian. Hot take. Mandalorian bores me like nobody's business. I hate the reasonable adult doing their profession that then gets satcheled with like stupid child character. And it could be a dog, it could be a baby, it could be an idiot. The only time that was ever done well was Rain Man, and that's because they found a way to work together mutually and steal a bunch of money. Like that was the only time it was done well. I am not a fan of that archetype of a show.
I thought
That's
Mandalorian
it.
season 1 overall was like all right. Like there's some stuff I liked, and otherwise just didn't really care about it too much.
He was in Avatar: Last Airbender as a director.
Oh, really?
Really?
It's interesting because, like, I don't know. I feel like based on so I haven't seen a lot of Star Wars. I'll be the first to admit that I before I started.
This guy only does Star Wars. Like,
yeah, that's
pretty
basically
much,
his
yeah.
main thing.
Because he got in Clone Wars and he like went up from there.
it literally goes. He's in like the art department in like King of the Hill and Kim Possible, and then shoots to director for Avatar. And then it's Star Wars from 2008 on. Because that's all he's done. So I have no idea the directorial chops of this human.
But the I'll be the first to admit whenever like before I started my watch, which was I technically started it last year, I was one of those people who was like, I haven't seen a whole lot of Star Wars. I've seen the movies, I haven't seen the spin-offs or any of the shows or whatever. And so I'm very much in the midst of like discovering this shit for the first time. Frankly, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are some of the best writing in a Disney show I have ever seen in my life, which could be saying a lot, maybe not, depending on your experience with them. But the point of the matter is they were really fucking good. And so I would trust Dave Filoni with pretty much the entire Star Wars mythos. But But unfortunately, I feel like it is inevitable. It's going to end in flames because the fans are going to burn down Star Wars HQ, and that's just gonna
I
happen.
think I'd be totally fine with Dave being like the head director of stuff if he just had a strong producer above him to tell him, no, get out of here. That's retarded.
Just give him the
Just
give
like
the
say, no,
director
we're
a
not
director.
doing that. That doesn't make any sense. Please. Just...
I could see that. Like the last time I was really into Star Wars, and we'll say like really into Star Wars, was the Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy books, and then the series where Chewie dies that everybody hated. I really liked that whole series.
Wow, you
really good,
intrigue that much?
really well done books, because you introduced this sort of outside of the Force idea where it's like, oh, the Force doesn't work on this whole race that came from outside our galaxy. What the hell do we do now? And it was interesting.
Yeah.
And so you have this massive universe of stuff that you could do whatever with. And I feel like a lot of stuff, once Disney picked it up, I thought like, just release the originals. Just give me the originals unedited. Give me the unedited originals, so I don't have to find a laser disc and try to transfer that onto Blu-ray. And they never have. So someday maybe they will. But there's a lot of like drain circling, it feels, with like, these are just the characters that people like, and we're the Disney corporation that wants to do
The
it.
thing I
And
dislike
rather
most about
than
the Disney stuff is that they focus so much entirely on, this is going to be our thing. It's ours. You don't get to play with our toys.
Well, and kind of to Pixelation's point, the response should be ignore it. You know, like it wouldn't be interesting, and people wouldn't see it half as much as they do if you just ignored it. And there's people out there that are like, but this is my childhood. It's like, well, then focus on your childhood and go look at something that you do like. Why do we have to focus on stuff
Hey,
that
you
we
gotta
hate so much?
You gotta move on and find something.
Literally, the stuff that they watched as kids is still available. And yeah, you can make an argument that, oh, you can't watch the original cut of A New Hope. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you can't watch the original cut of A New Hope.
That is slightly annoying.
It doesn't fucking matter in the long run because you're still getting the same story. It still starts the same. It still ends the same. Yes, there is a gigantic, ugly-ass Jabba the Hutt CGI abomination in the middle of it, but it still starts the same. It still ends the same. That's it.
There is a Laserdisc cut. You can find a Laserdisc cut that is, I want to say it's 720p. Like it's decent. But yeah, do hunt that down if you can find it.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Blaine. As far as regards to Star Wars, I'm sort of apathetic now. It's like that's good for you, Disney. You own everything. You know, you're gonna Disneyfy it and do whatever you're gonna do to, you know. And so I'll just move along and I'll just enjoy some other things. You can, you know, vandalize whatever you want. So that's where I'm at with it.
I think at the end of the day, it's just escapism. I mean, you know, you can attach yourself to it. Yeah, exactly. You can attach yourself to one particular escape if you want, but at the end of the day, if you don't have control over that escape, like if you, like, for example, if it's not something that you created yourself, if it's dependent on someone else, they could change it in any number of ways that would not be good to you, and then you're going to be crushed. So, like, if you just like watch the show, watch the movies, and then move on with your life, you'll be a lot happier.
Hail, Salty, how are you doing?
I too am salty.
Salty Texas, not Salty Cracker. They're different. Salty Cracker is married to Alex Jones, and they have a beautiful baby on the way. Salty Texas, I
thought you were calling me a cracker for a second. I was like, you're gonna get banned for that shit.
No, we're on YouTube. I'm allowed to say cracker.
Yeah, they only care about
You
it
could say-
on Twitch because they're like, I guess we have to enforce it equally, guys.
No, and that's like, to pop culture's point, like that's been my whole thing, is like, you just do. There's so much good escapism out there that even if you have something where the original creator, director, writer, whatever they are, is still in charge of it, they may still do something that you hate, and you just move on because there's so much. Look, again, we're going
Harry
through
Potter.
every year of 2010 to today with anime, And there are so much stuff that I haven't seen where I'm like, oh yeah, I should watch that. I should see that. I haven't seen Hunter x Hunter. That's hours of content I could watch if I wanted to.
Right.
But there's just other stuff to do.
Yeah, every time
Salty Cracker is a gay frog. That is true. Bourbon
every
all
time
around. What's your bourbon?
every time I tune in, Blaine, I'm always adding to my list of anime shows to watch. Just the ones you come up with. It's like, yeah, better add that to the list. Better watch that.
Exactly. And again, to Pixel's point, it's like, why waste time hating something if I can watch something I enjoy? There's just not enough time in the day for me.
Unless it's anime, hate that all you want. That's entertaining as shit.
Well, yeah, you need to add enjoyment to your hatred, or else you just become sad.
Yeah, like hate it for fun, not because you feel jilted, I guess.
Makers.
Yeah, y'all were gonna stop me from watching Shikamori soon.
Mhm.
We won't stop you, but we will make fun of you. I have already promised myself I have to watch this so that I can keep because Shikimori. So sometimes you need some sort of back end information to really understand a show, and Shikimori is the back end information for me to really enjoy the Louis Kemner arcs and his writing style. So I have to watch it so I can keep up with Lewis.
All I know
Shikimori is lore.
All I know is that I watched the first episode of Shikimori. I streamed. Blaine was in my chat. All of a sudden, he's like, "Hey, why are you watching that? It's garbage." And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It looked good to me. So episode 2 clearly put you off. I don't know.
I finished off the Agretsuko sake, but it's still inside me. Real quick, Salty Texas, Makers or Woodford? Go with the Woodford, I would say. Makers, pretty sweet, but definitely decent. But you got to watch out where you stick your Makers bottles. I prefer a Bib and Tucker if you have one near you. The Bib and Tucker has a 6-year that's a fantastic bottle for $60. Definitely go with that one. Of course, on my channel, I am balls deep in sake at this point. I need to hook up with Brandon. I've been on his channel once, and then he's been over here twice, I want to say. Hit me up a DM. I'll throw a link at you if you wanna jump in here and chat about your favorite escape, because I don't know anything about Stranger Things. But while we wait for the delay on that,
Good. I binged that shit.
Shikimori episode 1 has a guy where a building falls apart to try and kill him, and his girlfriend does a spinning kick to save his life. And we are to assume at this point in the show that this same ding-dong who the world threw a tree branch into his head when he was a child is able to survive in a kitchen and is really good at sewing. It's like, oh, I've got this bad luck, but it's not bad luck. It's just a curse. So anything I do that's manly, I get hurt. And anything I do that's like traditionally feminine, I do really well. That's just the curse. Give me an actual curse. Tell me that his dad, who is straight up Tanuki, I promise you his dad is a shape-shifting Tanuki who tricked his mother to marry him. And now he has cursed that family line with the bad luck that they all have to be the opposite of whatever their born gender is, as far as their actual skills in life, and everything else they do, the world will try to stop them and kill them. And his girlfriend, Shikimori, is actually a kitsune who has transformed and is trying to break the Tanuki curse. It's the only thing that makes sense, but that's not where they're going, because that show is stupid and dumb and is just trying to come up with weird reasons why guy has to do girly thing and girl has to do guy thing. You know what? We had no bad luck curses that made Gojo, the awesome seamstress, making costumes for Marin, the aggressive female. There was no bad luck, and we loved them. There was no weird signs falling down to try to break them up, and we loved it. It was fantastic, and it was great. What we get in Shikimori is garbage.
Sure, I'm gonna be good with the globalists while the Western birth rates fall. The Western
Goddamn globalist.
fire.
I I don't know. I think I just kind of assumed that all anime is going to be stupid to some degree, so I just kind of like looked past a lot of that.
What are you, fucking Nick Rekieta? Like, Asian storytelling is not good.
Well, okay, so you might be able to tell from my Twitter feed. Like, I joke a lot about anime is trash, and so am I. But like, I'm basically the less popular white giguk, and when it comes down to it, it's one of those things where I just kind of like I've seen too much, Blaine. I've seen too much, and like so by nature when I start a show, I'm like, okay, I've seen King's Game, I have seen Big Order, I have seen Mayoiga, I have seen some of the stupidest shit that has ever been animated. Like, it can't possibly be worse than that, right? And then the question episode to episode kind of, it's like, okay, it's either yes, it's stupider than that, or no, it's actually pretty good. So that's where my starting line is, really.
All right, and we are going to say welcome to Salty, Texas. How are you doing today?
Hello.
Hey, I'm all right. I've got a dog chewing a rawhide right over here who just came in to keep me company. So if you hear crunching, I'm not dismembering cheerleaders. It's my dog. So
Oh, see, you could have fooled me.
I have
with
to
the
always clarify
backsplash.
because people always ask that question of me.
All right,
Call
Jack,
the police
man.
about that.
I don't know what I'm
Alright.
doing on here because whenever I wander into anime streams, it gets very weird very quickly. But you guys seem pretty cool, so I just wanted to say hello.
Oh, well,
Hello.
hello. Thank you.
Hey.
I love
Konnichiwa.
anime. We talk Japanese. We talk. Oh, hayo gozaimasu. However, feel free to break out into any form of escapism that is your preference. We can chat about anything you'd like there. But
Yeah.
I am much more of the anime persuasion. The only human thing I have wanted to see in the past probably 5 years is Maverick. And everyone tells me it's amazing, and I can't wait to see it because I love jets and I love planes and I love all of that.
It
I'm
is
going
so
to
good,
see
you
it
have to
tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to see it tomorrow. I meant to see it earlier, but I got sucked into Stranger Things season 4.
Heck
And
yeah.
I came into it as a skeptic after the last couple of seasons, and I just got off a stream, off Nerd Pro Lifeform stream, where I was talking about it, and I can't sing its praises enough. Now, there are very few perfect things that exist in the world. This is an imperfect thing, but it is a very good thing. And I've had a YouTube channel for about a year and a half, and this is one of the first things that I've really felt strongly and actually recommended. You know, I've endured Wheel of Time, done a lot of reporting of what the abomination that the Rings of Power is going to be. But to sit down and watch some pretty darn good television with good character arcs that didn't shove agenda into your face, that has a really terrifying bad guy and no sympathetic villain, it was just nice. It was escapism, and for me, it was really good.
There you go. Yeah.
I
Sometimes
agree.
we want the bad guy bad. Bad
Yeah.
guy bad,
Yeah.
and I fight bad guy.
But see,
Yeah,
oh,
evil
sorry.
exists. No, evil exists. They're trying to tell us it doesn't. But those of us who have been alive, like I'm 52 years old, I can tell you right now, it's really obvious that evil
Hey, I'm not
exists.
second
Just gonna
oldest
say
anymore.
that. So yeah, there you go.
The average age is getting a little more manageable. Now, I gotta agree with you. I loved it. I thought I wouldn't because it has been such a long time since the season 3, but thankfully they had those recaps on Netflix, so I was able to kind of like get a little bit of a refresher. But like now, I binged it in like 2 days, and I was like, once I was done, I was like, I mean, the month wait between now and July 1st is not really going to be that long, but it's going to be a long time.
Did they actually produce recap episodes of like
Not-
that are
not
separate from the
episodes.
season?
Not episodes. There's just like 2-minute little, hey, here's what you missed in the last season, and then it's
Yeah,
like,
I did the same thing for season 2 and 3. 2 was pretty darn forgettable, but it did build up some characters that are integral to season 4. I thought season 3 got back on track, but still had some challenges. I really liked the addition of the Soviet Union because, again, I was alive. I was a teenager when these things were happening, and this was a big deal. I mean, the Cold War was no joke, you know,
Right.
and of course they nailed the fashions, they nailed the music, but this season 4, it was literally an homage to virtually every horror movie of the 80s. And not only that, but also action movies to a certain degree. And it wasn't derivative. It was just a nice homage. It was true escapism. It really
Oh,
was.
exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. 80s is where the horror is that I actually enjoy. Like
Yeah,
there's a
you-
lot of more modern horror that gets far
Yeah.
too much into the gore porn for me.
That's the
but
problem.
Something that actually, like, you talk about The Thing.
Bingo.
You go to those classic where the horror is the fact that, we can fight it, but where's it coming from? And it starts to tingle up the back of your neck. I love that. So
It's
maybe
the
I'll have to
slow
check this
burn.
out.
It's the slow burn, and you also look at Freddy Krueger, Nightmare on Elm Street. There were you could also even go back to Carrie. There are so many movies that are actually in season 4 if you are a fan of the genre. And I'm not a fan of slasher, hacking, mutilating, human centipede, all that crap. But I did like the stuff from the 80s. And this does a really good job of taking it, and it flips the old narrative of the Upside Down on its head. So it's not like the last 3 seasons recycled yet again. We got a whole new big bad, and it's really good.
I like how they with and I won't spoil
I need a
anything.
refill. Keep going.
I won't spoil anything, but like I do like how Vecna is like truly unlike any other enemy we've seen in the series, in the sense, and like also how there are certain characters who are the antithesis to everything that Vecna is, but you don't quite realize it until you hear his motivations, his backstory, and it's like shit, man. Like that scene that everyone's talking about in episode 4 with Max and Kate Bush running up the hill, like that scene.
I just had it up. We were just playing it on my last stream. It's just so powerful.
It means so much more knowing like who Vecna is and like what he's all about. And it's like, oh man, like I was thinking about it as I finished the season. I was like, it's like there is so much implications here for the last 2 episodes and then for season 5. And I'm like,
we were just doing speculation for the last 2 episodes because I believe the first one is an hour and a half and the last episode is 2.5 hours.
Oh, I cannot fucking wait.
We talked about the production budget for this because season 4 cost $270 million.
Whoa.
And if you put that into comparison, we actually calculated it down to the minute, and it was $348,000 per minute of television to make that show.
That's insane.
Think about that. That's bigger than my mortgage for 1 minute of television.
Yeah, that's more than I'm making. Like,
what's the lion's share of that budget? Are we talking?
It's everything.
The actors coming back and re-signing, or
everything: music, rights, special effects, the actors. Who knows? It's Netflix, so we postulated a lot of things because it's no secret what has happened to Netflix. Share price.
They signed this before they.
And I postulated a theory that this was to me, Stranger 4, I think, was a beta test to see if they could get away from the ESG score driven entertainment, which is part of what's been destroying our escapism. Is you can't have the 3-act play or the hero's 12-step journey. It doesn't fit in with the narrative. You got to force in the agenda and the narrative and everything else like that. And you actually have somebody in your chat that I brought up because I shouted you guys out, Prophet of the Dragon Steve. He's actually a huge fan of Stranger Things, and I was just on a stream with him. But it's so rare to find something new that truly allows you what entertainment was meant to do, which is to escape.
Well, and you bring up an interesting point. I heard some comment previously that the new model needs to be that like the short form, but like you've got 6-hour-long episodes or something like that instead of doing like a 2-hour or 3-hour movie, or instead of doing a whole TV series, you can sort of condense it into these mini series. Would be what we call it. Anime has been doing that for decades. The OVAs have always been a thing where it's like, hey, we can't get a studio that'll do our series. We can't get a studio that'll do a movie budget. So we have like an in-between where we do the OVA, and you get 6 episodes of like X Driver, one of my favorite 2000s anime where AI cars are running amok. And you've got these drivers who disable the AI sensors that cause the car to stop, and it's just a very interesting telling on that. But it's just a six episode OVA, and to see that in like live action and taking over was really cool and interesting. So seeing and getting those like hour-long episodes, because nothing drives me nuts more than 3 episodes that tell one story that could have been done in one hour episode.
You're talking about the last season of The Expanse that I actually watched, where Naomi was forever trying to get breaths of air, and we never actually saw the original crew that we loved, and then they greased one of the best characters in the entire series because of #MeToo, and we still don't know what that was about, and. I agree with that. The interesting thing about Stranger Things season 4 is that we're talking about episodes that in many cases are an hour and a half long, and you don't feel them. You guys were talking about episode 4, especially that scene with Max. I made this joke a couple of minutes ago, but I was literally sitting so far on the edge of my couch, if I would have leaned any more farther forward, I would have fallen on my ass because I was so there. I was so in the Upside Down with Max. And I just want to shout out some people I brought with me. We've got Zax, who's my wingman on my Tuesday night show, has a great channel all on his own. And also, again, Zax is awesome. Hail to you, brother. So, yeah.
And I'm going to blame you and Zax for our next guest here today. The Goblin Slayer.
Oh, Jesus.
Is here.
Look at this. I told him
the Goblin Slayer.
He's like one of those annoying Halloween pumpkins that are on the front porch when you go trick-or-treating with people.
Don't say that.
Like,
that was my first job out of high school. Was at a Spirit Halloween, selling all those stupid decorations, voice changers, all that crap.
No.
You're gonna give me legit PTSD. Like
Goblin Slayer.
They're gonna say that you had to sell yourself out and you become the voice of those things.
Goblin Slayer, first and foremost, I just have to say, big fan. Can't wait for season 2.
Neither can I. I've been waiting for what is it now? Almost 5 years. So
Right.
Wow.
It's such a good, awful show.
Oh yeah,
And awful in like the actual definition of like the content should be like repulsive.
it's
But
like
then
if
it's
Redo of
fighting
Healer was
against
fun.
Yeah.
Hey,
Goblin Slayer.
you watch your
aka
mouth.
Goblin Slayer, aka Brandon, was talking about it last night on the show, and we had to come up with code words to talk about what the goblins do and things like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's called
Yes.
reading. That's what they do to women. They
Yep.
read
Oh my
women.
goodness.
So
they like to
Yeah.
read to
Watch-
women many
lot.
times.
I think Purple
a lot.
was missing the code word there. She was like, no, not reading.
No.
So disconnected.
yeah, Alasia. We didn't give Alasia a lot of prepping, and she crushed it last night. She's so awesome. So, are any of you guys going to the Dallas Fan Expo?
Oh, I need to.
Oh my God,
I'm not
Squeaka came
currently.
over. I brought a
Squeaka.
bunch of my channel members. This is awesome. You guys are so awesome to come over here and hang out and
Yeah.
support Blaine's. Give this man and give these people a sub. I heard this guy talking and I was really impressed. And so I decided they were kind enough to ask a bum like me to come on the show. So I really
Oh,
like
yeah.
what I'm
Blaine's
hearing
cool.
over here. I'm really liking what I hear over here. So yeah.
Blaine's a cool
Squeak a
guy.
Mouse,
He,
Bourbon,
yeah.
Bib and Tucker.
Yeah, we were talking about. I told him he didn't exactly like my picks of Makers and Woodford, but that's okay. We can fight in the parking lot after this, so I'm good with that.
Woodford's what I get on a flight because I'm on a flight and it's the only thing available to me.
Mhm.
Makers, after the past 6 weeks, I don't know that anybody can drink a Makers.
Makers
anymore.
is what I mix. Makers is what I mix. I mix it. Make really good old fashions, and it's good in an
Full
old fashion.
side tangent because I last night was arguing that food and liquor is escapism because
It is.
why else would you spend
Yes.
so much time in it?
Yeah.
Why else do you
Jim
think
Beam.
Why else do you think I am the way that I am physically? If not because I
You just
eat
haven't
to
hung out
escape.
with us enough yet. We'll get you shamed up.
I
We'll
eat to
fix it up.
escape.
I'm just glad the swelling in your hands went down. I was really concerned earlier. So
So Jim Beam obviously makes Maker's Mark. They do the whatever. What the hell is that bottle that comes in a box that sucks but everybody likes it?
Box wine? I don't know.
Anyway,
Is it bourbon?
Box wine.
It's Jim Beam. It's like a bottle in like this pretty box, and everybody's like, "Ooh, we'll get him that one." It's not a great Basil Hayden's. So it's
a little
nowhere
hot.
near
It's
like
a
what
little-
you need.
There's no complexity in Basil's.
Jim Beam's hilarious because Suntory in Japan actually owns Jim Beam. It's Beam
I
Suntory.
Did
and
not
so
know that.
They basically bought it, said you guys run yourself, but they sort of took a few of the recipes and so have modified. So if you're a bourbon fan, then you'll love Suntory whiskeys. So Yamazaki, Suntory,
I know it. Yep,
Kakubin, Toki, any of those have a much more American flavor. But if you're a Scotch fan, you want Nika whiskey. You want to go with the Nika Black, the Yoichis, any of those, because that guy left Japan, studied in Scotland, married the owner's daughter, and came back to Japan and started 2 distilleries. And they're both fantastic. They're very Scotchy. I'm not a big Scotchy guy myself, but we'll see if our next guest here, the comic relief crusader,
Hey,
looks like
I know
Optimus
these
Prime is
names.
getting
I know
a
these
happy ending
names.
there.
You
One
know
more
these
is gonna be
names.
one more is gonna be the Brady Bunch.
All right, make it 2 more because I got to head out.
The Brady Bunch.
I'll see you, I guess, Monday.
All right, Michael, you have a good one. We will catch up with you on Monday.
Yeah, I think
Take
I'm going to
care.
head out as well. But it has been an honor, Blaine. Thank you. And it's nice meeting you all.
Good to meet you.
I'm going to go
Yeah, you
write
too.
some scripts. I'll see y'all on the
Go
flip.
enjoy. Kampai.
Good luck.
Kampai, everyone.
Also,
Squeaky
I think we
Mouse
got
loves
you like at least 5 or 6 subs out of this. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
There you go.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
As a
Salty. Blaine is
non-drinker, I do have one question between Makers and Woodford. Which one makes a better shank?
The makers.
Oh, okay. I would go with that one then.
Makers is a really good one to mix. Like I do my own hand press. I do my own hand press old fashioned sours with lemons, brown sugar Demira cubes, of course the Angostura bitters, and my own bourbon cherries. And it's like anything else. It's like cruise control. It's like old predictable. And but there are other bourbons that I have. It's just I don't feel like opening them. You know what I mean? Like it's just I like to look at them. But
So
I like a good
100%.
workhorse bourbon. Just a good workhorse bourbon.
I love Bib and
So
Tucker.
you're looking to admire
the
her from
Bib and
afar.
Tucker 6 year is one of the best bourbons that you can just buy off the shelf.
You're not the
Total
first
Wine-
person I've heard say that, dude. Yeah.
Total Wine paired up with Bib and Tucker and got a 12-year. And I bought it and it was amazing. I went back, I bought 3 more. And now I have 3 sealed bourbons that I'm still not sure I want to open yet because you're just like, well, I won't get it again. You just
I
won't
get
get
it.
it again.
No, I get it. I've got some reserve stuff like that I think has gone through 2 moves with me, and luckily they haven't broke. And I should probably drink them before the seals start to go. So yeah.
All right, Comic Relief. What is your current escapism that you are indulging in?
Brahma Bull is a man to talk to about bourbons. That's all I'm gonna say. Brahma Bull, hail to you, Brahma Bull.
Okay.
Yep, he has
Well,
more
as
than a few.
Canadian,
More than a few.
As Canadian.
Oh, Canadian.
it's,
You know Canadian cheese then.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. I know.
We were talking
of
cheese yesterday. We were
Oh,
talking
okay.
cheese yesterday,
Well,
and someone introduced me to like crazy vintage Canadian cheddar that I've never heard of, and I was like, oh, "This is insane! I've never heard of."
It has
that was
chunks of
me.
moose in it. It has chunks of moose in it. That's when you know it's Canadian. So
That was
yeah.
me. That was the Baldersons.
Well, there. Well, I mean, if it has moose, then yeah, and tree sap, so
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah,
have that
pieces
in there,
of
I guess.
beaver,
and
pieces of beaver.
yeah, pieces
yeah.
of beaver. That's right, and of course include the pelt. So why
Yeah.
not for that extra
Yeah.
authenticity? And if you're in Alberta, then throw in some bison because it's a beef.
Oh, yeah.
beef, and
Yeah.
the head
Of course.
cheese. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're in Quebec,
I was gonna
pieces
say
of
ice.
beret. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe a little poutine.
Yeah, exactly.
Poutine.
Yeah,
poutine. Now
a
you're
little
speaking
bit
my
of
language.
poutine and maybe
Je
some
peux,
bitching and
I
complaining
know.
about the Anglophiles and
Yeah,
vive la France.
donne-moi la langue les bon fils, je m'appelle. Like we can do this all day. So yeah,
Voulez-vous coucher avec
Sure,
moi?
no. Exactly.
Well, the way I see it, if they don't bother speaking English, I'm as hell not going to bother speaking French. So
I know.
it's an equal opportunity understanding.
I wasn't. Where the hell was it in Quebec? I was in Montreal, and it was fascinating to try and use the French that I learned in high school a million years ago to try and, which would have been Parisian French versus Quebecois. And it was I'm just gonna speak American, and you can say shit.
Oh yeah,
like
they'll give you the stink eye. And,
they did.
It's of course they do.
You
Yeah,
gotta
their
do what I
version of
did and
French
just
is
go
a
to
little
go
different.
to Harrison Hot Springs over here next to Richmond, and then all you need to speak is Chinese, and you'll be okay.
Are you in Virginia?
Then.
Are you in
I'm
Virginia,
over in the
Richmond?
Pacific Northwest, Seattle.
Oh,
area.
dude, I just left there. I was out in Port Angeles.
Oh, I love Port Angeles.
Yeah, dude, I used to live in,
there you go. You're
used to
not
live
too far.
I used to live in South Lake. So yeah, I know Seattle quite well. Yep.
Very good. I stay out of the city
Good.
to live.
Don't go
I
now.
go to the
Don't go
city
now.
for fun.
Yeah, don't go now. I used to go to Jazz Alley all the time. Demetrios, fantastic place. I haven't been there since the mostly peaceful protests. So
I don't know that it still is.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Which mostly peaceful
mostly
protest? Because we have
protests.
mostly peaceful protests every year on May.
I remember. I used to live there, but no, it was the one. It was the one where they turned it into the Chaz or the
Oh,
whatever
dude.
the hell it was. I got on the last ferry out of Seattle at night. I came in from Bainbridge, and the cops were waiting for me on the other side of in Seattle, and I was like, "What did I do? I haven't done anything like in the last 25 years. Like, what the hell?"
You don't know me.
It wasn't about me, And I found out what was going on, and I went to the Target down by Pike's Market, and then got back on the boat, and that was the last ferry out of Seattle. They locked the damn city down, and then I looked on the news, and sure enough, a bunch of half-wit dipshit commie wannabes decided to take over Capitol Hill. That's the last time I set foot in Seattle.
Chaz
Never
went
back.
fun
Never went
barbecue to Somali pirate in like a week. It was
It
insane.
took like 2 days.
It did communism right then. It did
exactly.
communism
It followed the book.
perfectly.
Exactly.
That's what happens. Yep. I'm going to split, guys. I got to take my dog out, and I just wanted to come and say hi. I really like what you guys are doing here, though, and I hope you guys would considering doing some work with me and some of the people I know. Brandon, it's great to see you. Jesus, dude, we were on a
Always.
show last night or something like that. I can't keep track of it, but you guys are fantastic. I'm subbed. I'm glad I could get you some subs. I think you are chronically under sub. What you're doing here is really cool. So
Yes, he does.
Thanks for the invite. So
It's
you guys are awesome.
the third channel, so the equipment is much higher than the channel would let on. So
I get it. I get it. Recycling. I get it. Yeah. But you guys, I'm going to split because my dog's going to divorce me. But you guys are cool.
Do it.
So have a good night.
Take care.
Yeah,
Of your
well,
coffee.
nice to meet you,
Salty.
Salty.
Visiting.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Salty.
We'll be
Bye. See you
keeping up.
later.
Have a good one.
Yeah,
All
so
right, now
as
that he's
as-
gone, comic relief, you can talk.
yeah, so I mean, as for escapism, what I was gonna say, as being Canadian, it's generally beer. So, as everybody was talking about drinking earlier. So no, here's the weird thing, because I do a lot of different stuff as a graphic designer, right? So
Oh, very fun.
yeah, well, I mean, I've been doing it for about 20 years, and so slowly I'm kind of returning to my first love, which would be drawing comics. So, slowly getting back into that, drawing and whatnot. And last night watched the Orville season 3. So, I mean, that was awesome. After the stench of Obi-Wan.
Oh man, don't even get me started on
The,
that.
the old man will
show.
yell at clouds again. Don't do it.
Dude,
No-
that
no
show is
clouds.
That show is a bag of smashed assholes. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Pixel's gone. We can talk as much shit as we want about it.
No, there we go. No. I'm not even gonna grace that with anymore. So, it's so bad. Anyway, yeah. So Orville, okay. What else? Brandon, I'm still watching Tenchi Muyo. My God, I had no idea there was so many freaking episodes.
All you need is Tenchi Universe. You can ignore the rest of it.
No, I can't.
No, you need
Can't.
all
I
of Tenchi. You got to have the whole Tenchi experience.
GXP.
Or at least I think so.
I can't do
Tenchi in
that.
Tokyo.
I have to know the whole story, right? Damn it.
Yeah, I got to get back into watching that.
Oh,
It's just there's just so many things, and with it being the new month, modern anime,
yeah.
it's just oh man. Now Blaine, I think for one of the weekend shows, I am going to do a panel show again, but I'm going to ask people to talk about the modern anime.
Oh, there we go. Let's see. So
I've been going through Brandon this whole week, and I can get through like 2 years at a time. And so far, I have made it from 2010 to 2014. I'm at 102 shows that I had seen in that time period.
Holy cow!
And I'm gonna leave the quality top 5 list to one of your other guests, and I'm gonna bring you the Opie top 5 list. I think that's what I have to do.
Ooh.
I've been doing my best every day that he's done this to sidetrack him and slow him down as much as possible.
Oh, dude,
Nothing
I think
slows
I'm
me
way
down as
ahead
much
of
as
you
scrolling.
guys. Because what I dumped on Brandon,
Yeah, that's a lot.
damn. Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yes,
I won't say what, but if you can guess by my avatar, you might have a rough idea. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, that sounds like a Dojin. Put some oiling of Optimus Prime's rod.
Well, kind of, yeah. You're close. It's after season 3 of G1. So yeah, we're talking Headmasters, Super God Master Force, Victory, and Zone.
There we go.
And then after that, I'm going to pollute him with Beast Wars the Second and Beast Wars Neo from Japan as an anime.
Thing
the original Beast Wars is why CG anime sucks.
You are not wrong.
That and Reboot, like they were so awful.
Well, it was the beginning, really, when you think about it. Reboot, really from Mainframe in Vancouver was really the one that started it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being a pioneer, they easily got the license from Hasbro and also from Mattel to do like, I don't know how many Barbie movies. But yeah, I know. That was later on though. But I mean they ended up with different properties, Transformers being one of them. And the funny thing is even though those 3 seasons are a really good storyline, if you can push through the animation, right?
Yeah.
It's a really, really good storyline, except just don't watch Beast Machines. Forget it. Just ignore it. That didn't exist. Stop. Okay. But the thing was, it revitalized the whole entire property of Transformers themselves. And of course,
Oh,
Japan got
100%.
involved.
I started out as a Beast Wars fan as a kid because I was like, whoa, Monkey's a robot? I love this. So I had like the cheetah like Transformer toy and it shot.
Well, originally Megatron was supposed to be an alligator, and Optimus Prime, not Primal, but Optimus Prime was supposed to be a bat. So
that would be weird.
But they kind of figured that the marketing exactly wouldn't work that way, so they changed him to Monkey. And ape to be
get it right.
Yeah, exactly right.
She's a King Kong.
Yeah. Yeah, so Japan took notice. Unfortunately, in Japan, Mainframe didn't give them the script or the character bios and whatnot, right? So a lot of things got mixed up in Japan. And Optimus Primal ended up being, what they call Optimus Prime in Japan, Convoy. And so later on, when they found out, oh, it's not the same Optimus, Convoy, they just kind of explained it away like, oh, I'm a descendant of Convoy, which would be Optimus Prime. And so then Beast Wars 2 took off after that, and then after that Beast Wars Neo, and it's a good storyline. And then on top of that, you got the Beast Wars 2 movie, which Optimus Primal makes a comeback for a short period of time. And I got a little side project that I've been working on for a few years, but I've been so busy that I haven't done anything with it yet. Gary Chalk, the man that voiced Optimus Primal, obviously he lives about 10.5 hours from me in Burnaby in Vancouver. And a few years ago, I approached him in Calgary, like about maybe 11 years ago. And
Just at Starbucks? You just walked up?
No,
Hey.
at the Calgary Comic-Con. And
Okay.
and walked up to him and I said, hey, Mr. Chalk, I don't know if you'd be willing to do this, but in Japan, there's a Beast Wars 2 movie with your character Optimus Primal in it. I'd like to do an English translation, an English dub of the movie. Would you be willing to read your lines from your character? And he's like, yeah, sure. So he went into a professional recording studio, recorded the lines as it was accurately translated into English, and boom, done. So what I want to do is find some really good voice actors and do an English dub of the Beast Wars 2 movie with him reprising his role.
Okay, you and I should talk in DMs about that.
There you go.
There you go.
I do have some connections to people with very good audio.
Awesome.
And we can work on that.
Yeah.
I love that. Especially with just the, bring it back and have people that just want to have fun with it.
Exactly.
It's there's enough people that want that I think we can make that happen.
That'd
That
be
sounds
awesome.
fun.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
because It would be awesome, and I really want to do a very excellent job at this. I don't want this to be like, half-assed, like some fan dub or anything like that. I want it to be good. I want it to be, say, 10 years from now, because let's face it, all the idols that we grew up with, no offense, but they're getting old.
They old and they dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're never going to have an opportunity like this again, ever.
That
If
that
we
was
don't-
the
Yeah, if
joke, right? Was like, let's have James Earl Jones read the dictionary as many times as he can in as many performances as he can, so we can just keep him around forever.
Well, exactly. Right? So that's the plan. And because I'm such a big nerd about all of this, about comics, about movies, about TV shows, about anime, about this, about that. And hence the reason for my channel, right? I just can't see all this stuff being flushed down the toilet.
Well, and again, yeah, that's the point. Is like, if what you see isn't good enough, let's do something that is. And for me in this channel, like, there's plenty of backlogs of anime that we can get into and we can watch that are really good. But at some point that'll end. So at some point we need something else. And I was describing a manga the other day on stream that I have asked the internet on multiple occasions to help me find this manga about vampire, a Frankenstein monster, and a werewolf that are working together to fight a big bad, and they're all in this like they all have different levels. Like one's a Nosferatu level, one's got like a lycanthrope level, the other one's like a Frankenstein level monster, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool because they're bringing in like other things. Nobody knows what this is. This was like some sort of weird fever dream I had as a child. But I'm like, I remember that being good. So I'm just going to write what I remember. And if someone's like, hey, that's exactly like this, then I get to read the manga that was really good. And if nobody says this is exactly like this, then look, I just made a new story for people. Give people something else to watch or read or enjoy, right?
Well, hell, do it yourself then.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly. Look at us talking about
I'm
Alex
rambling.
Jones.
I'm
Alex
rambling on
Globalist.
enough.
Get on here.
You get a Transformers dub. Blaine gets a Speed Racer. Something. Yeah.
I have got fingers crossed on that Speed Racer. Bad Robot is a decent production company if J.J. Abrams isn't in direct creative control
Yeah, it
of
does
what
seem
they're
like
doing.
he won't be involved.
Cough,
That's
cough,
good.
die.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything says J.J. Abrams company Bad Robot. Nobody has said J.J. Abrams is making Speed Racer. I really, really hope that we just get goofy, silly Speed Racer because that's all I want.
We had the Wachowski one.
I love the Wachowski one. If they
You know
do
what?
that as a TV series, I would be
Oh,
so
yeah,
happy.
that'd be good.
You know what? That gets a lot of hate, and a lot of people don't like it. I enjoyed it.
By who? I will tear out their
I don't
goiter.
know.
I don't think it gets
honest
that
to
much
God.
hate anymore. I think people just kind of don't really even care about it whatsoever. It's just
You know,
like
I
one
think
thing.
people will
watched it-
complain because they don't flesh out characters. People will complain because it's all pretty and visual. And you know what? That's what makes it Speed Racer.
Exactly.
Pops is Pops. That's his character. His
Yeah.
character is 1960s dad who's going to take care of his family and beat the shit out of somebody who threatens them with a wrench if he has to. Like that's just who he is. And he just
and
needs to
Speed
be
Racer
that. I don't
now,
need some
something
complicated
else.
character.
And a chimp.
And a chimp. Chimp
Can't
with a
go wrong
wrench.
with a chimp.
No, you can't.
Well,
So,
gentlemen, it's been real. It's been fun. But I do have some anime that I need to watch to prepare for tomorrow.
lies.
Which means
You're talking Goblin tomorrow, aren't you?
That's right. I am talking Goblin Slayer.
Oh, that'll be a fun one. I will do my best to wake up, but you'll forgive me if I watch it on the replay.
I
No
promise
problem at all.
nothing. I will try to be there.
good to see you, gentlemen. Pop Culture Mechanic, Serranos, Blaine. I did get you your shout out yesterday, and you were most helpful for me on the Isaki genre.
Oh yeah, it's pronounced isekai. I never actually
Isekai.
told you that.
Well, there we go. Isekai. Isaki Isekai. Close enough.
Yeah.
What more can I say? I don't speak Japanese very well, so
Just
That's all
remember,
you need to
there are
say.
no
No,
syllables.
nobody's gonna correct you.
that's right. So I do think, though, I think it will be fun to do a whole show dedicated to this genre, considering how relatively new or how it's only become popular primarily over the past maybe 10 years. You got Inuyasha, but you don't,
Mm-hmm.
especially the ones where you go and deep dive into the MMO world type setup
When
places.
it became
so.
a formula, right? SAO
Yeah.
gets super popular, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that's an easy way to take a person from point A to point B, and I don't have to worry about fleshing out a backstory or a full world. I can just say it's a video game. I don't have to be like Slayers and explain it."
Oh,
No, that would be
dude.
fun.
Okay, I saw the trailer for Chainsaw Man. Oh my god,
Yeah.
you are
Is there a
so
new one?
right, Brandon. No, just the one that you mentioned. I looked it up on YouTube. I'm like, where has this been all my life?
There are 2 trailers. If you haven't seen 2 trailers for
Okay,
Chainsaw
well,
Man,
then I'm gonna have to see the other one because I've only seen one.
okay.
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
first
have to-
one was a teaser.
Yeah. It's like,
Well-
oh god, I need to watch this.
I mean, let's be honest. Like Chainsaw Man started in 2018. Chainsaw Man hasn't been around that long.
No, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
All right,
But it's
Brandon,
been
you-
uber popular in the short amount of time. So,
Yeah.
that
Oh,
is
there's
doing
one
something right.
thing I want to mention on dates I had saved from earlier. Dress Up Darling came out in start of 2018. Shiki Mori started in 2019.
Wait,
you know,
what? The
yeah,
manga?
Yeah, the manga. So Shiki Mori could very well be heavily influenced by it.
That makes sense. That's why it's like a fake shadow of the prior.
Yep.
Interesting.
all right, everybody, you take care, and yes, be prepared to slay some goblins tomorrow.
Alrighty, we will see you then. Kampai, friend.
Jump high. We'll see you.
Later, Brandon.
See ya.
See ya.
All right. I always wonder about that. Like, everyone is influenced by something,
Yeah.
right? Like, even if it's just your life that you grew up with, like, you've got influences, and how many things are influenced by something else that's interesting or showing it off or anything like that. So it's always interesting to see sort of how the timeline goes and try to speculate, like, oh, well, did they know that was popular, or was it simultaneous? Because sometimes you get some of those manga where two manga come out literally a month apart, and there's no way the artists were talking to each other, and they're exactly the same, and you're like, oh, okay, that's just sort of the theming of the era. But other times like this, it sounds like, you get a show that just says, yeah, that show is really popular. What if I just do exactly what they are, but don't have really any reason for it?
Yeah, it's like
There's no reason.
Doesn't work.
No, and that's the important. Like that goes back to my complaint about like long form series, about not having like a real clear vision in mind, and just doing stuff as like people say, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And you see that with all like the resets in comic books and stuff to bring a character back around. You see that in manga where, someone who originally just fell out of the series is suddenly brought back because everybody liked that character. And it's I hate it when you can clearly see an artist that is being run by the audience, because audiences will pay your bills, and what you do is for your audience, and you should make your audience happy.
No,
but they shouldn't be dictating everything you do.
Exactly. That
Yeah, I
just
agree
ruins the
too.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as you kowtow to the crowd, there goes your entire story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're the creator. You're the creator. You should do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't never mind what people are telling you. It's like, no. I have a vision. I'm gonna put my vision to paper, and then that's the way it's gonna be. Don't tell me what to do. If you don't like it, make your own.
No, exactly, because it can end up in such a way where the storyline is getting so good that the characters basically write themselves.
Yes.
Oh, that is the best when you get people online that are saying, I don't think Gon should have done that. Him and Killua have this in their past that means that they should have done this if you think about it. Like, there is a point where other people try to interpret and say, like, oh, this character should have done this because I believe in that this is what the character thinks.
Yeah, it's like,
but there's a difference to what you're talking about, comic, where it's you're right. Like a character, you're like, what would that person think?
Yeah. I think probably the earliest example I can remember is, let me think. Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira, the manga, not the anime. Joji Manabe's Outlanders.
Okay.
Masamune Shiro's Appleseed. Let me think here.
You're going deep on this. Appleseed?
Oh yeah, Appleseed. Dude, I am almost advanced old.
What? Okay.
No, I shouldn't say that.
Here's something I want to know. I want to know, what was the first anime you remember watching and thinking, oh, this is different?
Very first anime I remember watching would be, here in North America, we call it G-Force, Battle of the Planets, which would be Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Yep.
In Japan. Shortly after that, Astro Boy and Voltron.
Interesting.
So we're talking early 80s.
So you went from Gatchaman to Astro Boy.
Yeah, well, see, because up here in Canada, went way back when we had Saturday morning cartoons.
Gosh, I remember Saturday morning cartoons and sugary cereal.
Yeah, and like
now I look at that aisle and then I look down on my gut and I'm like, oh, I can't go down that aisle.
And then like you came home after school and say around, from, I don't know, 3:30 to maybe 5 o'clock on a particular channel, there'd be like, cartoons on, for a couple of hours or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's how far back I go. The very first one would have been G-Force, Battle of the Planets, which, like I said, is Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Nice. That's a good one.
Yeah. So, that was the very first. I remember, because in the English version and the North American version, there was some scenes that they added in. In the North American version, there was like, this robot, I think with a robot dog. I can't remember the robot dog's name, but the robot was called Seven Zark 7. And I had that robot that you could like move around on the table or something like that with a magnet, right? It was like pretty cool.
That's super common from that era, right? Where they completely changed stuff for ad stuff. Like,
they took the violence out.
Yeah. And then later, yeah, exactly. And then later on, as it progressed, as the years went on to, mid 80s, of course, you had I was going to say Macross, but it was Robotech, back then.
So we know what it was technically.
Yeah. And you still had Voltron on, and but then after a while, you had stuff like G.I. Joe and Transformers, which technically was animated in Japan. So in a way, you can kind of call it anime, even though it was towards a mainly North American audience, right?
It's like the new Fiat Spider.
Yeah.
The Fiat 124 Spider comes off a Mazda plant in Japan and gets shipped to Italy for finalization.
Yeah, go figure, right? So, you had a lot of anime during the 80s, but when you're a kid, you don't care. It's just a cool, awesome cartoon, and that's that. You don't think of it as that. So,
well, and that continued on. Like I remember watching. So I grew up. I loved Power Rangers. That was one of my favorite shows growing up.
Yeah.
And then to find out that it's tokusatsu, and then they paired it up with a bunch of English stuff to make it different.
and
then even after that, and then even after that, you got Pokemon, which I knew Pokemon was anime, because I was told that. But for me, anime at the time was the VHSs that my grandma was recording and giving to me that had Dragon Ball Z and Tenchi and whatever else was on Toonami at the time, right? And I was like, oh, this is anime, and Guyver and Slayers, this is anime. Pokemon's not anime. That's not the same. Like, they can't be the same.
Card games on motorcycles.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D.
The D stands for don't watch it.
Oh God. Like, seriously. Frig, it's like that series didn't want to die.
I think it's still going, right?
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh God. Just stop.
Oh, Crusader.
Pokemon's still going.
Going back to Gatchaman, that little robot, Seven Zark 7 you were talking about?
Yeah.
He was actually voiced by Alan Young.
Yep,
who, if people know this, he did Scrooge McDuck.
He did Scrooge McDuck. That's right. Yep. That money diving bastard of a fascist duck.
Rich he's a damn millionaire. He shouldn't exist.
Hey, that's right. But I just love my money. So tis magically delicious. I know that's not exactly Scrooge McDuck, but what the hell? Yeah.
So having seen the original Gatchaman, have either of you seen Gatchaman Crowds, the newer version?
Was that
it's
the one
actually
that
a
came
sequel
out,
series?
What was it, about 5 years ago or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that. Like totally redesigned and everything.
Fully redone. I watched it as like, oh, this is kind of a new show. Let me watch this. And then I was only after I watched that I found out that Gatchaman was a prior series to get into.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. It was not bad. I thought I was gonna hate it. It's like, well, this isn't the Gotcha, because what was it? I think there was supposed to be a computer animated Gatchaman, like the old Gatchaman, that was supposed to come out, and I think it got canceled for some reason, or they didn't continue with it. And then
Not enough computers.
right. And then that version of Gatchaman came out, and I thought, oh, crap. Well, maybe, just maybe, they might slip in the original Gatchaman. And then by that time, I kind of realized, no, they're not going to do it. But I liked it. I didn't mind it whatsoever. It was pretty good.
Good. I always like when
it's
they
a-
have like a new series come back around that while the original English added something for the translation,
Yeah.
the new series will like do something that pays homage to the old version. Like that always makes me happy, where it's like they kind of acknowledge that yes, this was different in other areas of the world, so we're going to add something to the new one that wasn't in the original or it wasn't in the manga to sort of tie it in. That's good fan service.
I think also that's why I enjoyed Gridman and Dynazenon,
Oh, yes.
because it pays such a fan service homage to Ultraman.
Mhm.
And well, Gridman does at least, you know.
But and
and,
Gridman did so good at doing like guys in suits
Yeah.
feeling animation. Like it's
Yeah.
not, of course, because it's animated, but like at
Exactly.
the same time it feels like they're dudes in suits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
As someone who came way after that era, and I watched Gridman and watched Dynazenon, I generally liked it, but I definitely did not have like the nostalgic feel for it, which many other people would raise it to a higher bar in terms of how much they enjoyed it, just like the feelings they get from it.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. Yeah,
I
and
can
then,
get that.
and
I
then-
also
and
got to
then-
see it at Anime Expo, like when it like the first preview in North America, so I had that extra little bit of like excitement for it. And then again,
Right.
like I love Power Rangers. Like Tokusatsu is I love it. I love Godzilla all the way back to Gojira.
Oh, who doesn't
so
love
so
Godzilla?
I've got that past there.
That's also another thing. I didn't, even though it was like on like Saturday morning cartoons, I never really liked Power Rangers. I didn't like Power Rangers as a kid.
See, because by
Oh
then,
my
when Power Rangers
goodness.
came out, like early '90s, I was like 20 by that time, right? So, yeah. So I'm like, the hell is this? Sorry, it's just my age. I'm like, what is this with just guys in suits running around and stuff like that, right? I mean,
Yep.
I get it. I get
Yup,
it from
and then you're
your
like, man,
perspective.
that's a cute chick, and then,
then-
when they're Power
Yeah.
Rangers, that looks like a dude.
It's like, wait a minute. Yeah, precisely, right? And then I thought, there's something that looks Asian about this. With
My
the
Asian
buildings
senses
just
are tingling.
yeah. And I'm looking at this is like a set on a like Godzilla with the cheap buildings just falling apart and crap like that. Like, what
Yup.
is this? Is this just a Japanese show with like edited American actors? I'm like, oh my god, no.
Some
But
of the
yeah.
editing looks so bad that it doesn't look like the actors are actually speaking their own lines.
No,
Yeah.
I know,
Just-
right? You know,
Yeah.
and just the movements as they're in their suits is like, okay, clearly this is a Japanese show. Like, clearly, there's no mistaking it, right? And I'm thinking, how dare you bastardize a show like this? How dare you insult Japan in this manner? So
The best part of that show
But it was
is that
popular.
when they are Power Rangers, the mouths
Yeah.
don't move, and the monsters are all kind of like big floppy monster like
Yeah.
costumes. So when they're dubbing that, you can't tell either.
no,
And the
exactly.
only person that lets you know that it's a dubbed show is oh my gosh, what is it? Rita Repulsa.
Rita
That's the only
Repulsa,
character
yeah.
that indicates that you're watching a dubbed show.
God, I know, right? It's like, something doesn't seem quite right.
That
But-
mouth doesn't move right.
No, exactly right. So I'm thinking, wow, are they trying to give this a Bruce Lee kind of feel to it? You know, I don't know, but you know what? Hey, if you like it, you win, and that's all that matters.
I was also like 6, so
Well, that would do it too. So
Right up
It
your
was-
alley then.
It was impressionable on a young me, and I had the stuffed. So I had a stuffed Power Ranger with like the hard plastic head, and then like
right.
I would be like, yeah, run, 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 and then my sister would grab it and hit me with the head, and I was like, ah,
I killed you.
god darn. I
Actually-
actually to go beyond that even. I saved up money mowing my grandparents' yard, and my grandparents had this yard where like their house was here, and then they had like 3 tiers of yard all the way down to like the big one. So like it
wow.
wasn't a small feat. So I saved up my allowance for a whole summer to then go to McDonald's and buy. I have the entire original Power Rangers McDonald's toy set. Not in package, so it's not worth like thousands like I would hope it would be. But I have everybody from the original set with their Zords. It's that was me as a child.
Nice.
Holy Grail attained.
Yeah. Actually, me and my wife, we were recalling how much we liked, or she watched Power Rangers when she was younger.
Right.
She's quite younger than I am, but so I went out and we bought the DVD of the original Koyo Sentai Zyuranger, and
Nice.
that
Oh, man.
we both really enjoyed that, watching the whole thing. So way different than the storylines done for the dub.
It is.
Right.
It's. I find it more fun
Yes.
when you're watching the original show, right?
Yeah.
For example, like here in North America, because I'm just the big Transformers nerd and whatnot. Back in the early 2000s, you had like the Unicron trilogy, right, where it was
Mhm.
Transformers Armada, Transformers Energon, and what they call Transformers Cybertron, right? So watched it in English, you get the whole gist of it. You watch it in Japanese, in the original Japanese, and I got the original episodes as well. Armada, well, Transformers Micron, Secret of Micron, which is Transformers Armada, is somewhat the same. And then Transformers Energon here would be Transformers Superlink. The story slightly changes a little bit. And then here, Transformers Cybertron, which is in Japan, Transformers Galaxy Force, it's not even part of that continuity. It's like a separate continuity, all its own, and the story is just different. So I just enjoyed the Japanese series way more than the crappy storyline of North America. I just it's better. It's better. That's all I can say.
Well,
So-
and to be fair, all of the best parts were the Power Ranger parts and the Zord parts, which
Yeah.
were the Japanese parts, right?
It just
Yeah.
Nobody buys the Bulk and Skull like action figure.
Oh, those guys. Oh.
they are the Ray figures of Star Wars.
Yeah. Everybody buys the Transformers or Transformers. Oh my god. The Zords that you can like combine up to be the Megazord, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the dream toy of every child.
Well, of course, right? Because everybody wants the big ass combiner.
Oh my god.
Well, Megazord in your case, yeah. You
Even
know?
today, like I want all of my Gunpla to like combine, right? Like I love Gundams. I love putting together Gundam models. I just want them to like combine into something.
Well, let's see. I got a 2-foot masterpiece Omega Supreme that does
Oh,
yeah,
beauty.
that
Any
does
pictures?
transform. Oh yeah. He does transform into his base mode. And then hopefully in a few months I'm getting a 4-foot tall Fortress Maximus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fortress Maximus.
Oh yeah. And I'm working with 3 other guys, and we are designing a 4-foot tall Metroplex, and then after that, a 4-foot tall Triptychon. So, damn big.
like designing ground up or
Ground up, yeah. I mean, we're pretty close to doing the molds on Metroplex. It's like that close to manufacturing. So light up eyes and all that jazz.
I'm a
It's
little bit
Got a
surprised
Kickstarter
you're not
going on or
for
what?
a, full
Huh?
size 6-footer, going for only the manlet size there.
exactly. We like to call it the divorce class of size. So that's how we call it in the fandom. It's
That's
divorce.
great.
Yeah, because like in the Transformers line, you have like what they call it, like Voyager class and and Titan class and stuff like that. This one, yeah, we're calling the divorce class because you'll probably have to take out a second mortgage in order to buy it or something. So, yeah, and going to be doing the box art for that. So,
Are you doing it like Pop said? Was it Pop or Stranos? Are you doing a Kickstarter or something on there?
well, we were thinking about it.
Indiegogo?
Yeah, we're thinking of that. We're thinking of that because right now the designer that's actually putting this all together for us pretty much is done at this point. So once the model is done, yeah, more than likely it's going to be raising the money to actually buy the molds, and molds can get pretty expensive. But
Mhm.
the
Absolutely.
guy, the main guy, he has a brother and sister in China, and so when it comes to manufacturing, got a little bit of connections over there. So
Yeah.
hopefully it can be
And
done.
that helps. Having tried to make connections just for something as simple as skate decks, like
Oh
that,
God, yeah.
you're like, oh, it's so simple. You just put it together, but then you start like working with different factories. You're like, oh my gosh, this is the worst
Yeah.
thing I've ever set out to do in my life.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, maybe he might want to do other things like that. So if you want a 4-foot Megazord, maybe I can put a word in.
That really would be the divorce model if I got a 4-foot
see, there you go.
Megazord right now.
Always willing to help.
And if you get divorced, you'll have half as much money to spend on your Megazord, unfortunately.
Yeah, see, there you go.
That is true. I wouldn't have to argue about it.
Yeah.
But does it come with a free divorce kit?
Does it come with a lawyer? That's all I
Yes.
need to know.
Does
Yeah,
it come
that's
with
right.
proper documentation and
No.
all that jazz?
Exactly.
No, I
Maybe.
would be fine. I would be okay.
So
It's the weird part of being married to someone who doesn't like to spend money, is you say,
yeah, see, there you go.
oh, you can spend that money. You can spend that money. And then you go to spend the money. You're like, yeah, I told you could spend the money, but you didn't.
Yeah. What else have I watched recently, anime wise?
Oh my goodness.
Season 2 of Ultraman that was on Netflix.
Is it
That was-
good?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It kind of seemed to have, I don't know, it just went by rather quickly.
I watched the wait, hold on, let me get the actual title of this real quick.
I mean, when you binge watch it,
Giant
it always goes by
God
quick.
Warrior appears in Tokyo.
Wow.
It's a 10-minute video basically made by Hideaki Anno, and it's everything you expect 10 minutes of Hideaki Anno saying Giant God Warrior appears in Tokyo should be. Made it in 2012. It feels like Ava, but it's not Ava, and I loved it. You can find it online somewhere, like somewhere on Vimeo will have it. Just make sure you specify English sub, because otherwise it will just be a Japanese movie that you're trying to translate.
Okay.
But yeah, that was a blast. That was a fun one. I love those weird little short films that people put out.
Oh, and also what's going to be coming out soon? Lum.
Yes.
Oh my god!
I really liked how the trailer looked. I'm very interested in watching it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Lum.
so happy.
Lum is returning. I
I
haven't seen Lum in forever.
It's probably been
saw
well over 20 years, right?
About there, yeah.
Yeah.
More, I think.
Well, no, over 20 years? It's 2022, bro. That show came out in like
Oh,
what,
it's-
That was like
90?
early 90s. Yeah, that was like
Okay, I was
30
gonna
years
say it
ago.
was probably like over 30, but I didn't know exactly how long ago.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
about
no,
30 years.
this show came out before I was born, I think. Hold on one second. The
Yeah.
original run was 81 to 86. So yes, prior to
Oh, wow.
me being even conceived, this
Damn.
show existed.
Yeah, I remember
40
the
years.
manga being quite old, but I didn't remember how old the anime was because obviously there's so much more variance back for older stuff.
Yeah, because I
Right.
mean that even came out before Ranma Half.
Yep.
Yeah.
Prior to that,
So-
Rumiko Takahashi making some of the best stuff. My biggest joy was we've been getting all this promotional material, right? All of these PV, what, not PV, all of like the promotional imagery has been coming out. And we're like, wow, that
Right.
looks really cool. Wow, that looks really cool. And they finally dropped the trailer, and the trailer is the promotional imagery in motion. I was like, oh, thank God. It looks so good.
It does, isn't it?
I
the
almost
rest of the
don't
show's
even
just
care if
scribbles.
they modernize it. Like I don't care just because it looks so good.
I don't think they're really going to modernize it too much. Not too much. Only because, most anime stays pretty truthful to its roots
Mm-hmm.
for the most
Well,
part.
and so much of it too is like if you tried to change it, that's work.
Yeah.
It doesn't take work to just do the original.
Yeah,
No,
the surprise
exactly,
thing
right.
is usually if they're gonna be changing stuff, it's pretty big departure, like story wise. Just like
Oh,
for
for
long
sure.
running, like something based on like a long running manga, then you just like split off halfway through or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it'll be interesting to see if we actually get nipple in the first couple episodes, because the manga chapters
Jeez.
2 and 3 there is nipple.
I don't know. Ooh, that's going to be a good question.
I would imagine it's probably censored just because it's gonna be like a TV anime. Then they'll have it
Yeah.
uncensored. one that you'll
Potentially,
be able
but
to find online.
Ikitosen dropped uncensored, bro.
I mean, yeah,
Have you not
that's,
been following along?
I've not seen anything of that.
We got 3 episodes of Shin Ikitosen this season where they were like, hey, what if we just make Ikitosen again and boobies and people fighting? We don't really need a story. We'll just have boobies and people fighting. And we just
Oh,
dropped
okay.
3 episodes of boobies and people fighting. And it's like, whoa, it's 1993 again, baby.
Wait, that's also part of the difference. Is that it's not quite the same as other anime.
That's
I
true.
like
Let's all
boobies.
be real. The real joy of Urusei Yatsura is all of the Space Invader Lum cosplay that's going to be at every single convention
Oh,
that we
God,
get to
yeah.
go to.
It's also really easy to do. That's the best part.
Enjoy.
So true.
Enjoy.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm stoked for.
You know what? I think I actually still have some love movies around here somewhere. On VHS.
You can find all of it on YouTube. It's hilarious.
yeah,
I had
that's-
no idea.
torrent site. I mean, yes.
The entire
YouTube.
original series is available for free on YouTube.
Wow.
I don't know about the movies. I found one of the movies on YouTube.
I do
And
remember.
I was like,
just
there's no
thinking
way this is
one
the
of them.
movie, because it had like a picture from like one of the CDs, one of like the music albums on the like thumbnail, and I was like, there's no way that's the movie, and I clicked it and it was the movie. I was like, what? How did you upload a movie on YouTube? I show 30 seconds of a show, and Katakawa's like,
Yep,
guess who's
yep.
gonna block you in all territories? And
I mean,
here they are
could do it
dropping
after, like,
entire
10
movies.
seconds if they wanted to. They're just like,
I hate that. I hate YouTube.
They did that to my Macross 40th anniversary. They allowed it to stay up, but they just blocked it everywhere. I think the only place that could watch it was like Brazil or something.
Wow.
And everywhere else, it's like, nope, can't watch it.
hey,
yeah.
you want to move to Brazil? You got to watch this.
Yeah, and I was talking
Wow.
over all the images all the clips I used. I was talking over all of them, and like being transformative and doing all this kind of commentary. But
Mhm.
nope, they're just like, no, that's claimed copyright
Yes, that's
claim.
right. You must be slapped on the pee-pee before you are allowed to be using YouTube guidelines to your advantage.
Yes.
It's like
How
nobody
dare
is
you.
watching Macross by watching Pop Culture Mechanic talk about Macross. Like nobody is. That is
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
definition of transformative.
What's the odds? Come on.
And they weren't even like clips from the show. It was like the opening scenes. Like,
Oh, really?
stuff you'd see in a trailer. Like, it was just, I
See,
was
because-
angry. I was
because-
really angry.
In my YouTube videos lately, I think probably maybe, I don't know, the last 10 or something like that, I'm using some music from Macross Frontier.
You're
Oh,
using
good
music
choice.
and getting
Good
away with
choice.
it? That blows my mind.
So if you turn down the volume, the background
Music is an immediate problem.
I know,
Yeah.
but if you turn it down to at least maybe minus 10 decibels or something, like, bring it down a bit,
Mm-hmm.
they don't catch you.
And
And because it's Japanese music. Keep it in mind.
My
Good
first
choice of music,
stream was about like what we should watch, and I watched a bunch of trailers, pausing and talking about if we should watch it or not. And immediately that got a copyright claim.
Oh god.
And then like my second and third are both like removed from YouTube because I like appealed the claim and they were like, no. And so now I've got like strikes on my channel. I'm like, get out of here. What is wrong with you people? Do you not want someone to say we should watch your show? Like,
Yeah. The only way to do that is
No.
just like have like the still image of the trailer and then you start watching.
Yeah.
Silly you. How dare you want to watch that show?
How dare you try to promote our promotion?
No,
I
exactly.
hate
Right?
it. It
For
drives me
free.
nuts.
I did the same thing. What was it? I was talking about Star Trek coming out. I think Brave New Worlds or something like that. And I just used some video clip, no audio whatsoever, of like James T. Kirk, and they're like, you can't use this. No, this is copywritten. It's like, all right, fine. Just edit it out, YouTube. I don't care. I want to get monetized eventually. So
Yeah, I'd remove it.
well edited. So that clip was taken out. But God, maybe I'll go to Rumble. I don't know.
That's the ticket, is just to do all three. Like
Yeah.
what I'm waiting for is the if I get 300 subscribers, then Odyssey will be just a clean transition, and they'll just clone everything that's on my YouTube channel.
Ooh.
But then
Oh.
Rumble is like I think you've got to pay to live stream on Rumble.
I don't know.
Is that like
I forget. I have a Rumble account, and I was moving towards it, but I think you have to pay to actually stream to it. Because with Restream, like, it's beautiful. You just like say go to all three of those locations, and you can just simul stream to each one, and then you don't have to worry about it if it goes to one of those other locations. But the problem is YouTube and Google make monetization so simple that it doesn't matter if like, oh, you set up a stream elements and people will like give you money that way. You set up a PayPal, you set up a Rumble, you do an Odyssey, whatever it is.
Yeah.
People will still give you money that way. But it's easier for people to give you money with Google. So people will give you more money with Google even after YouTube's cut. So that's your long-term problem.
Oh, I didn't know you were on Odyssey. I hopped on there too a while back, also on BitChute, just to throw some stuff out there. It's pretty neat to
Don't
see
know
who
why I didn't
watches
sign
what.
up for BitChute. It's the only
Yeah,
one
and I get a
didn't.
Rumble account, so but only as a viewer.
Yeah, exactly. You can be a viewer, but if you want to upload and like live stream, like it's like you gotta pay for our servers, and you're like,
No, screw that.
okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe when I'm a bajillionaire or something. I don't know.
Yeah, let's get some cash flowing on the YouTube channel, and then I'll worry about it.
Yo, Elon, time to buy something else.
Right.
And he's just got this sack of cash.
Yeah,
Just drop it on
exactly.
somebody's neck.
You want me to buy Rumble, do you? Yes.
If you could come to Elon and say, "Hey, here's the return you'll get if you buy Rumble,"
Yeah.
he'd buy it, right?
Negative
Because
$2 billion.
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's just a question of if I put the money in the bank, it'll make a 0.5%. If I put the money into my business, it'll make 5%. If I buy a business, it'll make 10-20%, right? You just got to make the argument. You just got to say, hey, here's your return. If you buy this thing, you should buy this thing.
Do it for freedom, Elon.
Elon, if SpaceX is so good, where is SpaceX 2?
Why aren't
Pepper.
I in space right now?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Oh my goodness.
Remember when anyone could go to space? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Harkening back a bit to an old topic, I was born in '98, and when I was 6 years old, I went to theaters and saw The Incredibles, and that was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Before we talk about that, I just want Pop Culture and Comic Relief to know that means Serranos is 2 years younger than the N64 that's on the shelf
Yup.
behind me.
I am younger
Yes,
than
he is.
My first console was a Wii.
Shh, I hate you.
I freaking love this. I love this. So some people in my chat know that I used to work at a gun shop, and while I was there, one of the other employees was like, "Oh, it's my 21st," and I was like, "No way! It's the N64's 21st too."
Coincidence? I think
My
not.
console could drink days before one of my coworkers, and I was like, "Man, this is a weird feeling." And I was only like 26 at the time, so it's not even like I was that old. I was just like, man, that's crazy. How is it that someone else I know is as old as something that I spent most of my childhood doing?
I own you, kid.
Here, 64, have some gin, the angry man's drink.
Console just fries and starts smoking.
It'll be fine. You get a strong enough alcohol, it'll clean it.
That's right.
Real high proof vodka.
All you need is just another version of Duck Hunt for the 64. Oh wait, GoldenEye.
Yeah,
There we go.
GoldenEye and Banjo Kazooie.
And Banjo Kazooie.
Still got
my
mine.
God.
Shadows of the Empire.
Oh God,
I-
Shadows. That's one of
I
my
love that
favorite
game.
playthroughs
I know,
that
right?
I did
It's
on
like,
our.
it seems like that's the staple favorite game, like to anyone that had a 64. That
And
Banjo.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, and Rogue
Yeah,
Squadron.
Road Squadron. Yeah.
Oh, and Pod
Because
Racer.
Rogue Squadron was weird.
Yes,
It came out
Star
after
Wars
the
Episode 1
prequels.
Racer. That was
Yep.
my childhood game.
Yeah.
That's
Episode
right.
1 Racer. Yeah.
Yep.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day.
Yep. Slaughtered every track.
The real question is if you played Pod Racer with 2 controllers,
I
because
played
you
it
could
on
do
PC.
the
I didn't
dual
because I didn't
stick.
have
Oh
I didn't
yeah.
have a console, right? I played it on the
Oh.
computer.
Oh, same here. I think I still do.
I have.
Somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I got the download again from other sources.
That blew my mind. There's a dual stick version, like 2 controllers that you can play GoldenEye,
Right.
Pod Racer, and there's like 7, I think, N64 games that you can play with 2 N64 controllers, one in each hand.
Oh, is that like an old
Oh.
thing? Because I know that you could probably do that on the Switch.
Is that an old thing? Yes, it's older
Oh, for
than
God's
you.
sake. You just said old thing.
I did not know you could do
I
that.
hate
That is quite amazing to learn after that many years that there was games that you could use 2 of those controllers.
You
I
see, way
had
back
no
when
idea.
we had a crank and we had to get
That's
the
why they had the
N64
handle in the
going.
middle.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I was filming like the last thing before we canceled our Let's Play channel. I was filming a favorite Nintendo controllers video, and that was one of the things we came across, and we're like, no. We plugged in the dual controllers and like started playing the games. Well, sure enough, you can play GoldenEye as a twin stick shooter. You can play Pod Racer with the 2 toggles as though you were freaking Anakin, like hitting the little throttles on each end. It's insane
That is the most
how
interesting
well it
thing I've
works,
never
but you're
heard
like,
of.
huh. Man, if only I knew this 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah. Jeez.
Where have you been my entire life? Like, the hell?
No, exactly. All right.
Memories.
All right, shout outs time. Comic Relief Crusader. It's great to see you. Great to chat with you. I've only known you through Twitter. Where else can we find you?
You can find me everywhere sanity is found. So you can find me on
I've got your
my
YouTube down in the description. So
There we
definitely
go.
pop down there.
Yeah, definitely at the Comic Relief Crusader, where every Tuesday I have my live chat on Titillating Tuesdays, and just trying to do my damnedest to fight back against all the crap that's going on in pop culture today. You can find me also on Twitter. Well, essentially, I don't really have Comic Relief Crusader as my title, sure, but at Mike_Lorber. So you can find me on Twitter there. Facebook also have my Comic Relief Crusader page. God, where else am I? You know what? There are probably so many places I can't even remember.
That's enough.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, you don't get to follow there.
Well, no, that's true too. But I also got a store on my website at Freelance Graphics. That's graphics with a K at the end.com, where you can buy various merchandise that I have done.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Pop culture, familiar face on the channel. What have you gotten going on this weekend?
Well, looks like tomorrow I'll be doing some more retro gaming stream in the morning, about 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And then on Sunday, it's going to be Sunday anime chat. I know it's early, but I'm early. I get up at like 5 o'clock every morning, so it's what I do.
Where are you at?
Sorry?
Where are you at?
I'm probably about 3 hours away from you, I bet.
Yeah, because as soon as you said Mountain Time, it's like, really?
Yeah. Oil country sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, my fellow Canadian Texan.
I kind of figured that when you mentioned we're.
Well, let's put it this way: I am about 45 minutes north of Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah,
that's all I got planned. Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about 801 TTS Airbats. I'm going to go and discuss some of all 7 episodes and what I liked about it and how people should give it a watch for a fun anime.
Well, the images of that one definitely sparked my interest. So if I don't catch you live, I will follow up on that video, definitely.
Right on.
And then always enjoy peeking in on those Sunday anime streams. Serranos, you're from the chat. You're the chat man in here right now.
Yes.
You want anybody to follow you anywhere? You got some links you want to throw at me? Or do you want to
Nah, I'm a lazy consumer. I don't really make anything. I just follow around, watch streams and stuff. I have a Twitter that I like art on and retweet dumb politics shit. That's about it. I wouldn't encourage anyone to follow that.
Too late.
All good. All
I
good.
plan to.
We will,
because as we speak, I'm subscribing to all of you.
Nice.
Perfect. All right. And then, as always, I am Blaine from Blaine's Escape Corner. We talk Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time when people are awake and able to think
and drink.
Yeah, exactly. We're at the drinking time. Even Hawaii can drink during my show without having any worries about it. So we are here Monday through Friday talking about the current shows, talking about escapism. How can we do it? How can we do it in a healthy way that we don't turn into hikikomoris, people that are all wrapped up in themselves, weird otaku freaks that people point out and laugh. We're going to do that in a healthy way that builds community, gains friendships, and meets interesting people like everyone I've had on tonight. So thank you everyone for coming on. It has been a blast, and everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. If you work for the weekend, enjoy it. Spend some time, relax, have a good day, crack open a cold one, crack open a slightly warm one if you're in Australia and you're a weirdo. But I won't judge you too much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening tonight. And I will catch you all again on Monday if I don't pop into somebody else's stream over the weekend. Everyone, kampai.
Kampai.
Goodbye. This was cool.